Welcome to Outlaw Radio on a Monday night, live from the basement. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Kevin Barnes, and I'm not your grandfather's Negro. This is what we do on Mondays and Wednesdays. Shout out to the boy Rail, a little bit under the weather. The Juice Lady will be along as we move. But in the meantime and in between time, this gentleman needs no introduction. He is the most esteemed Mr. Carter. What's poppin' with you, brother?
Hey, what's happening, y'all? How y'all doing? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talking with raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm y'all holistic health and wellness coach, Kamar Carter. Peace to the family. I'm also the one who brings you nature's natural herbs and supplements. You can find that on Facebook. You can find that at Honeybee Sage. You can find that at the Coogee Chocolate Co-op. You can find that at the Fit For You Marketplace. You can find that on Facebook at Nature's Natural Herbs and Supplements. You can find that on the Healthy Self, Heal Thyself page on Facebook. You can find that on my page, Kamar Carter. You can inbox me, and I'm going to tell you how to get your products, man. Come on in, y'all. Holla at us.
That's what's up. And support any black business. It's all about black economic development. So support any black business. You can support my business by hitting that Cash App right there on the screen. The number's 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. Of course, we have a chat room. Chat room pops. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. It's always shaking in the chat room. Love it. I do my best to, kind of read and keep up with the shit that I'm remedial sometimes. So if you listen to the show, Ace Cooley, he said, what it do, brothers, out here in Maui. Oh,
Peace,
shit.
bro.
Relaxing, watching the podcast on the beach. That's what's happening.
You fucking show out.
Right. He flossing on us. He's flexing on us. I see you, Ace Cooley. Duly deserved. He walked the great. He said, walk up in here. Represent, y'all. Represent. Check in. Share the show. Share the show, man. Share the show. Hit the Cash App. Call in. Do whatever you got to do to support it. Like I said, normally we're on Mondays and Wednesdays. I think I've kind of put the Big Black Sports Show on a hiatus again because we have a conflict in our schedules, and also because my son is going into basketball season too. So I'll probably, like, tomorrow night I wouldn't be able to do it anyways. But we'll bring that back, man. We'll bring the Big Black Sports Show back. How y'all doing, man? Hope y'all had a happy holiday weekend, long weekend. We got a lot of time off. Kamar, what did you do for the holidays?
Man, what did I do? I put my motherfucking boots on and grind hard. You know what I'm saying? Tuesday, I was at the Sherman Phoenix. It went down, man. There was so many people. Then Friday, for Black Friday, I was back at the Sherman Phoenix, down again. Saturday, I was down at the Milwaukee Black. Yeah, the Milwaukee Black event they had at the Performing Arts Center. Curtis Blow was down there too. They was also doing not Fiddler on the Roof. Who was the name of that thing? That they do it every year. But anyway, Curtis Blow was down there. He was live, man. That one went down. And then Sunday, you know what I'm saying? I ain't do nothing. I had to replenish everything because I done sold out of everything over the past week. So I just been working hard ever since then, man. So for me, it's been grind mode for the holiday.
That's what's up, man. It's that time of the year too. I want people to know, if you're listening to the show and you know the seasons, now we're in the cold weather. If you're not feeling well, holler at this brother for some of that elderberry, a myriad of products that he offers. Because I'm a witness to tell you that elderberry and all that kind of, it knocks that shit right out of you. So holler at this brother. B Terry, he said, love, brethren, not the Google term for the less fortunate. Shout out to Byron Terry. Deion James, what up? What up, my brother? How y'all doing, man?
Peace.
A lot of shit to talk about tonight, man. A lot of shit to talk about. I actually had a great, man. I don't know if this is just a thing about getting older, but I've actually enjoyed the last few holidays more than I ever have over this past year, man. I mean, I just had a great Thanksgiving. I went out of town. I was with my people up in the Twin Cities. Just great, man. So much food, family,
Yeah,
man. So it was dope. It was dope, man. Had to do a little driving though, but it's all good. But yeah, man, I had a good Thanksgiving. I just
that's
had an
what's up.
absolutely fabulous birthday, followed up by a sick Thanksgiving. Hopefully, I can have a dope
Dope
Christmas.
ass road trip. I saw
Right.
y'all in the car on the post, man. Looking
Yeah. Well,
good,
that's
yeah. Y'all looking good out there.
what's funny about that picture. Here's the deal with the picture. And if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen this picture. That picture's actually old, right? Um,
You know what? Hey, now that you say that, right? I was looking at your kids, and
right, right. Here's the thing.
I said, man, she been overseas. Like,
She looked too little to be in England. Um, Check this out though. So what I did was my birthday was November 4th, right? And shout out to everybody who wished me birthday love, peace and blessings. But my daughter had put up this real special post, right? And she said some stuff, to me on the post for happy birthday. I just thought it was real dope, right? So I put it up trying to share what she said. People have mistaken is that today is my birthday. It is not. My birthday was November 4th, but and so people's happy birthday. And my daughter's like, no, they're not commenting on the picture like today's your birthday. So that's a picture she had picked out from us on a road trip years back. So that
and
picture
it
has to be
was something on that pic. It was something that made you feel like it was your birthday too, man. On that post.
well, she said happy birthday to me. She was saying happy
That's
birthday
what.
to me.
So that's what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody looked at the date. Nobody looked at it.
Right.
November 4th, 20. You know what I mean? So shout out to y'all, man. If you didn't know it was my birthday and you like,
Man, don't
yeah,
nobody,
it's all
don't
good,
nobody
man. I
look at the
appreciate it.
dates and shit.
Right. I appreciate it. It was plenty of love. And it was mostly people who hadn't commented when it was really my birthday. Because I know people say, wait, he already has birthday. So this how many motherfuckers I missed. What up with y'all? Dion said he drive to Minnesota all the time. Yes, my wife is from the Twin Cities, so and I went to school in Minnesota, so I spent a lot of time in the Twin Cities, most definitely. A different kind of place, but nice nonetheless. And I can tell you, it's a lot of money over there. You're talking about building and developing. Good lord, they put Milwaukee to shame when it comes to how they invest in their infrastructure. But I want to start the show off too by saying, because we always do this on Mondays, prayers and condolences to anybody who lost someone over the weekend. I've heard news of a pretty prominent sister. I didn't know this sister. I believe her name was Shannon King, and she was an advocate. Apparently, a lot of people had worked with her on some really strong positive causes, and she passed over the weekend. So we know we have a plague of homicide in our community, and then sometimes your family members just get to the end of their journey, so you lose people. So we always start off by saying prayers and condolences to anyone who lost somebody. We also want to shout out anybody who's going through something tough. If you're listening to the show right now and you locked in on some shit and you're real nervous about it, you're uneasy, you're upset, shout out to you, right? You'll get over it if you apply yourself. You'll get over it. And we always say when you're
It's
down
only
and
for
out,
the
the first
moment.
thing you got to do is look up. Look up. I'm telling everybody who's struggling, look up, and
Hey,
usually, you'll you'll
I
you'll
got
you'll
one.
rise above. Go ahead, brother.
I got one. Just think when you reach those moments, you just think to yourself, all the times you encountered something in your life that you felt like you couldn't make it out of, you did.
That's right. That's right.
That simple. You know what I
It's
mean? The
worth
hardest times,
trusting
the
yourself.
hardest problems, the hardest issues you ever encountered, you figured I ain't gonna make it. Oh man, you made it. So you're gonna make this one too. You know what I mean? All those situations were none but moments.
Right.
This one is a moment too. It's gonna pass.
Yeah, man. And it's coming into I know there are a lot of people who suffer from seasonal depression. And so it's coming into the holiday season. I know I don't suffer from seasonal depression, but the holidays kind of changed for me after my mother passed because obviously I don't have my mom anymore. So or my pops, but so holidays have really changed for me. And in years prior, I've been kind of down and out, especially on Christmas, because my mom's passed around Christmas. That's why I'm saying shout out to people who are going through it, man. Like people who are, feeling like, man, it ain't no way. And I'm shouting myself out too, because I felt like that at times. That's how I know it's common, right? So shout out to y'all, man. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. Share the
We are.
show.
All right.
So it's Outlaw Radio, man. That's what we do on Monday nights. Hit that number 262-202-5131, 262-202-5131. So man, a lot going on, man. Like I said, one of the funniest things that I've seen is that now they've had to come back and rename the monkeypox virus. This is actually in the People's News Network, and it's a strange story to start off with, but I have to. Uh, because monkeypox in itself is it's called monkeypox, and it's not actually a derivative. Like monkeys are not the animal source of it, right? It's the name is a result of some testing on some monkeys, which they said developed pox when given this virus. So it's made a comeback, but they said they're going to change it now because of racial indicators, because of discriminatory practices around the name monkeypox. Now, Africa has a very serious monkeypox problem, and they've stated that it's no little to no vaccinations over there for it, right? So I guess the connection would be monkeys, Africa, uh, you know, so they're gonna call it mpox from now on. Right? This is real. This is real, man. This is real. Um, and so they say that it's primarily being been transmitted here in the United States by gay or bisexual males, right? By gay or bisexual males. This is what they said. And that's also the problem with it in
Them
Africa.
gonna get mad.
Well, what I'm saying is you say racial, but then you say, well, it's mostly something that gay men have been kind of spreading. There's an outbreak because of some sort of weekend that they can pinpoint where there was like gay sex going on, I guess. But then you say we're gonna change it because it's racial. Are you changing it because it's racial, or are you changing it because it's something that gay men have? You see what I'm saying? Like what are we talking
Yeah.
about?
You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Them gonna get mad.
right. Here we
Remember,
here
they
here
got
we
mad
go.
when they blamed the age and shit. They said something about them in age a while back. They
Absolutely.
got mad back then too.
Yeah, that's a very Kamar. You know what's funny about that is if you've watched as many documentaries and whatnot in regards to the early 80s and what happened with the way AIDS kind of tore through the gay population in New York, people saying, Kev, how do you know this? I'm gonna tell you how I know it because I was very interested in what was Studio 54, like how they talked about what used to happen at Studio 54. So I watched a documentary about it, and they detailed it in the documentary, and that was kind of like what also happened at the time when Studio 54 was going through their issues and just kind of having a fall. So the gay population in New York and San Francisco, places like that, were devastated by AIDS. So it was a thing that was pretty prominent and prevalent in their communities. But nobody wants you to say that it's a gay man's disease because obviously people who weren't gay acquired it later on. But in its origin, right?
Right. That's why they called it that. That's why they called it that. Not that anybody can get it. I mean, not that anybody can't get it, but that's where it was. That's where they were saying it derived from.
Right. That was, AIDS is a gay man disease. Like I don't see that's what I'm saying. Like people you know, they ignore certain shit and let certain shit slide, right? And I'm gonna let you know, we'll give you some examples of that tonight. I said all around all kinds of motherfuckers this past week. I mean saints, worshipers, believers. Be blessed, you are living human. Byron Terry. Yes, sir. Be blessed, man. It was good, man. I don't care what you say about I ain't celebrating no pilgrims and none of that, but it felt good to sit around with some family and eat a bunch of food. It felt good, man. Little babies, little kids running everywhere. It was
Hey
live,
man,
man.
you know what, Kev? I just feel like this, man. Like holidays like that. You know what I mean? Like you got some people that's gonna They're gonna bash it. You know what I mean? Talk about what it's from. Okay, we all understand what happened and where it come from and all that shit. Um, but then you catch them same people eating good on Thanksgiving. Like, okay, it's cool, man. Just don't say shit. Leave it alone. You know
Right.
what I mean? Okay, you can talk about what it was, but don't go talk. I don't want to see y'all. But then the motherfuckers still eat. I seen a whole lot of that shit this year on Facebook, man. Like, dog, just chill out, live your life.
Yeah,
That's it. Just chill out, live your life, enjoy it. You know what I mean? Remember on the show the other day, I said, man, high vibrations come with that. Good feelings come with that. Good vibes come with getting with the family, man. You know what I'm saying? Like cousins get around. Remember when you was young, you and your cousins get around, man, and it's just the best time ever. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's what we looking for. We need as many times, we need as many opportunities to catch those feelings as possible.
Absolutely, Kamar. Well put, well stated. That's what I'm saying. It was like a throwback for me because that's how holidays had been when I was young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So as I've gotten older, got my own family, we tend to spend our holidays just kind of consolidated, just us. Obviously, because my wife's people are up there, my mom and dad are not here. But we've done some family things here over the years with my other, with my family. So my point is, it was good, man. I don't care
yeah.
about and I know
That's
social media is all
fun,
about
man.
portraying an image, right? So it's
Fuck
cool to
them.
say that. If you want to call that out, that I do understand what this holiday is, but I'm about to go eat some dressing. I'm with you on that too. You know what I'm saying? I could call it what it is. Oh, fuck the pilgrims, fuck Thanksgiving, all that shit, and be
Yeah.
right at the table. Like, yep, let me get that
I get
macaroni
it.
and
You
cheese.
know what I'm saying? But don't talk shit about motherfuckers getting with their family and you know
No,
what I'm saying? Oh, that's just your excuse. That's just your excuse. No, nigga,
no.
that's what it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas coming up, regardless of what you call it. And I know what it's about. I know all the ins and outs. I'm even so I'm even feeling so good this year that I'm gonna forego my super harsh criticism of the brother Karanga when people start hollering about Kwanzaa. Because normally I'm all up in people grill when they start hollering about Kwanzaa. Like, do you know who Karanga is? You know what he done? Like, and so if you don't care, so I'm gonna even leave y'all alone this year. Go and do your thing, man. Have a good time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But come on, once again, Outlaw Radio, we always say, whenever you say anything, we say you right, because you are, right?
Right.
Whatever you say in terms of
It's
what
your
you want to do
world.
with your life,
It's your
you're right.
world. You right.
You're right. You could do
Your
that's what
world.
you
Your
do.
world.
You good. You good. So yeah, I was talking about the double standards, right? And here goes a whopper. Here goes a doozy. And coming out of this thing where we went through with crazy ass Kanye. Kanye has put his foot in his mouth so many times since we initially defended him that once again, to be on code is to stand with him in his truth and call him on his bullshit. But I'm just really like he went from being kind of somebody who stood on a very serious issue to kind of like being a joke, right? Like, so we'll talk about that. But I want to talk about the double standard, the quick trigger on who gets canceled and who, oh, this person said the wrong thing to the wrong group of people about the wrong group of people. Shout out to Paris LaShawn. He said, Brother Shay and Kruma, what's going on with you, man? Chewbacca's Black Experience Enhanced. Good luck in your run for mayor of Denver, my brother. Um, Jerry Jones, who is the billionaire owner of the Dallas Cowboys. That's right. Pull a seat up. Let's talk about it. Share the show. Everybody hit the share button right now. Hit the Cash App right now. Get on the phone. Hit the line. Get in the chat room. Jerry Jones, the $1 billion owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Recently, a photo was unearthed, as they say, of a protest, if you will. I believe it's 1956 in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, where Jerry Jones is from. And there is a barricade of white students who are standing against what looks like about 4 or 5, maybe 6 young black men. Big ass mob crowd. We know how we've all seen Eyes on the Prize. We know how these things were when the young brothers and sisters were trying to get into the schools. Jerry Jones is in the middle of the crowd, watching along with the mob, just standing there. Uh, and people say, well, I'm gonna get to Stephen A. Smith, who's being referred to as Uncle Ruckus right now, because he came swooping to Jerry's defense. My thing is, first of all, this was kept very quiet, right? As was the case that Robert Kraft, who's the owner of the Patriots, who got caught initially in the getting a happy ending in the massage parlor. Deshaun Watson fell on the sword for his. Right? People still don't want this man to ever play football again. He's coming back though. He just passed protocol, so he'll be back. But Jerry Jones, they tried to sweep it under the rug. He comes out and says, "Well, that was 65 years ago." And I was just really curious about what was going on. I didn't really know what was going on. None of us really knew what the big deal was. I call cap off top to Jerry Jones. You are a fucking liar. How could you not know what was going on? That's the first part of it. This is a slap in the face to me. I take affront to it as a black man. For you to say you didn't know what was going on, that you were just curious. If you don't get your ass out of here. Now, here's the deal. If you were a white male in the South in 1956, odds are you probably were racist. You probably did go to some anti-Negro rallies. Your parents probably were Dixie flag waving Southerncrats, right? So when you say I didn't even know, we were just kind of trying to see what was. That lie shows me that you're guilty. But I haven't heard one person say cancel him. I haven't heard one person say you have to sell your team. I ain't heard none of that. Now
Hey,
we
you know
know
what?
if this
And there
was a
be
brother, this would
situations like
have
that,
actually
man,
been
where you
called.
know it was bullshit, right? But then it's like at the same time, he could have just kept it real too, right? He could have just came and said, "Yeah, that was going on. I was on that shit back then, but you know, life goes on, man. I learned a lot of different shit. You know what I mean? As the years passed." Look at me now, you know what I mean? I work, well, can't say that really, you know what I mean? I employ a lot of black people to play football for me, right? You can't really say that. That's another form of slavery, but that's another conversation. But like I said, all he really had to do was just say, okay, yeah, that was going on back then. I was in it, you know what I mean? I learned better. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. That's the same shit they want everybody else to do.
Juice
I feel
lady in
like
the
he was
building.
where he was supposed to be back then. He was where he was supposed to be as a
Yeah.
white during that time. But you know, I always
They'd
look.
have killed him if he'd have been on the other side.
Yeah, it's like don't nobody ever look at the motherfucking parents though. I feel like I just can't. I mean, I guess we still do it
Yeah,
today when we take our
his
kids to
parents shit bags
Wauwatosa
too.
and stuff like that and Cudahy and those things. But you know, the parents even putting your kid in that environment. It's like you, I don't know.
Well, once again, we're talking about the cancel. Welcome to the show, Courtney, by the
Hi
way.
y'all.
Um, and so Jerry Jones, once again, I'm just kind of just showing people what the double standard is. Because you're quick to say cancel when a black man say anything when he get out of line as a Negro. But you cannot tell me absolutely there's no way you can tell me that Jerry Jones wasn't down with the status quo of Little Rock, Arkansas in the 1950s. He comes from a prominent family. So of course you were a little white ass racist bigot. You didn't know you was gonna need niggers to make millions of dollars one year. I mean one day, hundreds of billions of dollars, whatever it is that you clear off the Cowboys. So I'm with Kamar. Maybe he should just come full out and say, you know what? Yeah, at that time, that's what I was taught. That was kind of the society I was raised in. I've lived long enough to learn the error of my ways. Yada yada yada. The only thing that this tells me is that you're still at heart that same racist
Yeah,
motherfucker.
if you gotta lie, you still that same motherfucker.
Right. You are in denial, Jerry. and I'm gonna tell you the truth. The Negroes who work for you is not like they're gonna quit. If you come out
Right.
and say, yeah,
Right.
I used to kick niggas in their ass all the time. That's what we did in Little Rock.
They ain't gonna quit. We know they ain't gonna quit.
Right. They done showed you. They are not going to quit. Shout out to Sharon Evans. She said, "What's going on, Outlaw?" Sister Courtney is in the building. I told
Hey
y'all the
y'all.
juice lady in the building.
Yeah, I'm
Courtney,
sitting outside of
you
a
got a
yard right now.
podcast coming up. What you got going tomorrow?
Tomorrow I am interviewing Shaniqua Freeman, so we can talk about her art, talk about life, talk about mindsets, and just have a conversation. So that is tomorrow at noon. That'll be YouTube and Facebook. I'm gonna share it all around, so it'll be everywhere. It'll be in the People's Network. It'll be all around live. live, and then
That's
you can
what's
play
up.
it back if you don't catch it live. Watch it again.
It's archived. It's archived, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get it on demand.
That's right.
Byron Terry said support the show. I support the show because there are no lies detected. Call in if you want to challenge my comment. Get money, no excuses. Take care of your family. Oh, no doubt, B. Right, Kamar Carter, Paris said. But yeah, man,
Hey
Dion
y'all.
says, hey, yeah. People say, what
Because,
did
hey,
you do
man,
with?
look, it's all about being accountable for your shit. That's what life all about, man. You know what I mean? Well, that's what being a grown up is about, man. Being accountable for your shit.
Right,
Yeah, I fucked up in the past. I did a whole bunch of bullshit, but I ain't gonna do the same shit now. That's
right.
all he had to say.
I mean, if he wasn't still that person, you feel me? Like, I mean, and let's look, uh, Jerry Jones has got away with plenty of shit. I mean, pictures came out of him years ago when he was with the young girls, and he was, it's sweepy under the
Look, hey,
rug,
he
right?
look Jerry Jones a little Trumpish.
Right. I mean, that's his man's. That's his man's. They all in the same club,
He a
man.
little Trumpish.
They're
So what? Do
all
we
in the
just
same club, bro.
are we
Like
looking
all of
for
them
him to
billionaire dudes,
apologize or
huh?
admit he a racist? Are we looking for him to apologize or admit he a racist? I mean, do we care? Do we care? Or are we just looking at how's the difference in the bullshit?
Well, I'm looking at number one, the double standard.
Yeah.
How white people give white people the benefit of the doubt 9 times out of 10. I'm looking at that
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost. Secondly, I'm looking at the fact that this is an individual, like I said, who employs a whole bunch of black people. Whether you working in the stadium, whether you parking cars, whether you playing on the field. So I think it's very important for him to let those people know who he is. And people say, why? Because of integrity, because we have this photo of you and we know where you were and we know what the ideology was at that time. So every time you deny why you were really there, I feel like you're being disingenuous, and I feel like people shouldn't fuck with you. So that means we in turn should boycott the Cowboys. We
Yeah.
still should start saying, "Hey man, let's cancel this dude." Look, why black people can't start yelling out cancel like white people do when we do some shit that offends them?
Because we don't really know how to cancel shit.
Right.
Right.
Black folks don't cancel shit. Not at all. We
That's
ain't even supposed to be
why.
watching the goddamn NFL. Remember? We ain't
If
even supposed
you
to be
stop
watching it.
if you stop buying cowboy jerseys and all this shit, like you can hit him in his pocket, but now the reality of it is, are we gonna do that? Probably not. That is
No.
where that's a lesson for us to really pay attention to. So I guess that's the draw from it, Courtney. Not necessarily. I don't expect him to come and say, "Yeah, I'm a racist." I admit it. What I want him to do
But
is
he
admit,
should. He should be like that one white teacher that recently told the class of black boys he was racist. You know, he believed that they the superior race a little bit. Don't be ashamed of it, goddamn it. Say that shit. Say it. Don't be say it. Don't be scared.
wouldn't
Say it.
that be
That's how you
wouldn't that
feel.
be a hell of
I
a
know that's how I feel. I'm like, say
social
it. Say it,
experiment?
Jim. Say it out loud.
Nah, he ain't gonna do that. But
Look, say it out loud.
what he
Say it.
could do is just admit that, okay, at one point that was my mentality. That was part of my life. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was out of order. Yes, I'm wrong. I apologize for that. But I'm apologizing for 15-year-old me. And I'm 75. So he
Right.
should just approach it from that perspective as opposed to all this.
That's
I
all.
didn't know. I didn't know what they was doing. I didn't know what was going. How the fuck you ain't know what was going on, Jerry?
You
How
just
you
seen a
didn't know?
mob of white
You
folks. It's just
big
like when you
dummy.
see a mob of black folks. You just, hey,
Right,
where you
right,
guys
right,
going?
You
right.
big dummy.
Oh, are those the guys they were talking
Right.
about?
Hey,
Why
where you
won't you
guys
guys
going?
let him in? Like he was just oblivious to the shit. Come on, Jerry. Stop it, man.
He said, I was just trying
White
to see what was
lies.
going
Shout out
on.
to Daryl Burns, he said for sure. Daryl Burns, shout out, man. What's going on, brother? Ain't heard from you in a minute. He says if this was a picture of him with some Nazis, he would be done. The reason would be because the Jewish power structure would be on him. Absolutely.
Right.
Right on the head.
Right.
We know if you mess with them Semitic people, right? Don't let me down, Jaime Town, right? I'm trying to tell you. So that's what I'm saying. This is the double standard that we allow to just kind of continue over and over again in the media, right? Like, so
Right.
this is how they ostracize anybody who would be a black leader or somebody who could, service our cause, our structure, or our need for structure in our community. They'll sabotage you, especially if you speak out against them. And it's a shame that Kanye kind of, in a sense, he cried wolf, right? Because he's all over the place with a whole bunch of coonism and a lot of buck dancing. but then he called out against them, and when they came down on him. But then again, I take that back because Kanye has never really expressed to the people that he needs or wants our support in the first place. He's never said we got to stand together as a people. I haven't heard him say anything like that. Everything I hear him say is me, 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 me.
I heard him
And
talk about. I heard him talk about how niggas, celebrities and artists and shit need to get behind it.
okay, but not the people. Not so
Right. And
we're
take a
supporting a
stand.
motherfucker that don't even want our support. So
But
that's what I'm
hey,
saying.
but I mean, you know, he don't. I don't think it's that he want our support. I feel like he trying to create a new way type of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like a system where they ain't in control. Like, I don't know, maybe he trying to debunk the whole thing. Like, look, you can make it past whatever the fuck they talk. I don't know, man, but
Right.
I still feel like that was relevant what he was on.
No,
He
that
still go, he still
absolutely.
says, hey, I feel like he's still gonna say some shit that's off the wall, you know what I mean? But I stand behind that. That
Yeah,
part.
that particular topic, yeah, I'm with him on, but all the rest of the stupid
You
shit he
know,
can
I
miss me
mean
with.
shit, I don't stand behind nobody 100%.
So, let me see.
People know that he's trying to get out of his Adidas contract. So being dropped by Adidas actually was a plus for him. He was trying to get out of that because there was a lot of bullshit in his contract.
Yeah, well, I'm at this point where, like I said, he disrespected the minister, so fuck him. If you disrespect Farrakhan, I'm not rocking with you. You
I
say
don't think
anything
he
negative about
disrespected him, did he?
he
But why?
did.
I mean, what did he say
I
about
just
Farrakhan that affected you though? That
I'm a staunch Farrakhan supporter. If
what did he
you
say?
insult the minister, it pisses me off.
what did he
What
say
did he
that
say?
was insulting?
He came out talking about he was gonna have to call him and apologize, and he was wrong, and he don't take no slight from nobody, and all this bullshit. When
That ain't
and
no insult.
Why was
Farrakhan threw all his support behind him. He gave him he absolutely expressed nothing but love for the man and said, no, this is we should be standing with this man. And so for him to come out his scatterbrain ass mouth and speak against the minister, that's my personal opinion, though. I say that if you're a black person and you say some foul shit about, you can say you don't agree with him. You
but
can
he
say
didn't say
you
Right.
don't like what he said,
I'm
but
like,
for you to
I feel the same.
disrespect him, I just feel
I
like
don't
that's
know.
corny.
I don't know what Farrakhan may have said that upsetted him.
I
But
heard the
you know what I
whole
mean?
speech.
In
He didn't
this,
say nothing.
in the respect, I mean, in the same aspect of how you feel, like I ain't gonna let nobody slight me. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna say something.
That nigga
yeah, I feel the same way.
said shit. Deion Jones
If I
said,
feel like Jesus popped his head through one of them clouds and said some bullshit about me, I'm gonna say I don't agree with that shit. That's some bullshit, dog.
you
That's
could
right.
say that. You could say all you want. You have the
Yeah.
right to say whatever you want. But me, I have the right to say, if I hear you say that, fuck that. That's some cool shit. Fuck you
How
for
was that
saying it. It's
cool
like if
shit
somebody say,
though?
But Will, I don't get that. I'm trying to
How was
get
it
your
cool
it's
idea
like
of
if
why you
shit?
somebody
feel like
says,
that.
it's like if somebody say like fuck your mama or something. Like it's like, okay, but why you take that personal? Like, well, because I choose to. You don't get to tell me how to deal with it. I
But
feel
that
how
is
I feel
not
about
what he said though. That's not even anywhere near what he said. Those are
it.
completely
No,
different
no, no,
things.
no, 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 no. I'm not
Like he
saying
didn't
that it
say
is.
nothing.
I'm
He
not
just
saying
said
that it
they
is,
gonna have
but
to
I'm
talk
saying
on the phone. It ain't like
disrespect is disrespect. So
so what part to you was disrespectful though?
let me catch my chat room up. Dion says, shit, Joe Biden's probably in a rally also. That was the culture then and now.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's what
yeah.
we saying.
True. He was
That's
right
what
here.
we saying. Why wouldn't you
Hey,
just
but
say,
you know,
yeah,
hey,
we going down?
they do got pictures of Joe Biden though doing some shit with black people. They do got some pictures of that.
Yeah, they also
I
got
mean,
him.
I ain't saying how genuine it is. I ain't saying, oh, this a cool white dude. I ain't saying none of that shit.
They
I'm
also
just
got
saying they
him.
got
They also
pictures
got
of him
his
fucking with
signature on
black
the
people.
crime bill. They also got his signatures on one of the authors of one of the pivotal bills that kind of brought in mass incarceration.
Yeah.
Kobe Lloyd said they only need the black man from the neck down. Uh, right, sports, right? Sports and entertainment. Kanye West or Ye just announced he's running for president again in 2024. He wants Trump to be his vice president.
I don't
Love
think
your
he really
platform,
wants Trump
brother.
to be his
Praying,
vice
preaching.
president. I think that was a publicity stunt.
Oh,
Love your platform, brother. Praying, preaching, and marching. Praying, preaching, and marching. Shout out to BT. Now, to answer your question, what you said, what did he say to me? What triggered me on the issue
yeah. What
is
part to you was
is
disrespectful?
him being flippant at the mouth, saying he need to watch his mouth. he better watch himself for disrespecting me. What he said was a slight to me. I don't take no slight from nobody. I ain't bound down from nobody. And they better call me and apologize. Now, first of all, people say, well, that's not disrespectful. Well, it is, because first of all, your stance is aggressive. To bring the aggression towards somebody who I actually heard the entire address. I heard the entire address. There was nothing foul said by Farrakhan. There was no slight. What he was stating was the facts about the situation. And so there was nothing disrespectful about it. I feel like if you disrespect Farrakhan, I don't fuck with you. That's my personal opinion, though. I have the right to say that. Now, there's people who say, can't fuck Farrakhan. That's cool. You have the right to say that, but I got the right to say that's some cool shit. And then we can agree to disagree, right? And I'll sit down and have some Subway together, hopefully one day. So that was my point about that. That's what bothers me about him disrespecting the minister, because I feel like the minister is the only real leader that we have. So that's my opinion. If you got a different one, call in 262-202-5131.
If the minister said something about you that you felt like was some bullshit, you just gonna take it?
I don't have to disrespect him, because first of all, one of the things that he said,
well, I mean,
one of the things that he said, hold on, one of the things that he said in the speech was, it's okay for us to have problems with each other as brothers, but we can just reach out to each other. We don't need to beat each other up in the media. We don't need to cross each other in the media. Just call me. You got a problem with me? Call me. If I got a problem with you, I'll call you. That's one of the things he said. That's what I'm saying. It was like turn your device down. Lord have mercy. Real leader that we have. Black people know they be trying to listen to the show and hear their voice, or is it me?
You know.
Me. Say that again, Courtney.
I said, you know it, just like on the radio. Ooh, wee. Radio be turned up and they calling it hello.
You be like, turn your device down. Please. That might not even been Ewok's fault, but I'm gonna blame it on him. Give me back, Ewok. I seen you trying to call. So yeah, that's just a difference. Okay, here we go. Bring him in. Let me bring him in. Ewok the Great, what's popping with you?
Yeah, what's happening, man? You telling me to turn my device down? I wasn't even on the phone, man. It went to your voicemail.
Oh,
but
Lord.
That's neither here nor there.
Right. I said I was gonna blame it on you, though. I ain't lie.
I ain't even mad at you. Do what you got to do, man. It's your show, man. Shine. Hey, I was gonna say, man. I don't eat bean pies nor wear bow ties. You know, I respect the minister too, and for Kanye to say that, dog, it was just, you know, he doing too much. And yeah, we all know how we feel about things. Well, if I feel such a way, I'm gonna say, okay, that's fine and dandy. You know, we all got our level of tolerance or whatnot, and we gonna say what we gonna say. But he didn't have to get in front of the camera and say that. Just like he said, well, you can call me. He could call me, man. We need to talk. Like he telling the minister what he better do. Come on, that is disrespect, man. No matter how you try to. I'm tired of people cleaning Kanye up, dog. I'm sick of that. I mean, like I said, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to that. That was garbage the way he came off talking about that man like that. That man ain't had nothing but love for all of us. I've been listening to him, you know, off and on for years, man. Farrakhan don't do that. He didn't come at that man like that, so I don't even know what Kanye thought he heard. He thought he heard something and got right in front of a camera and said that shit about the man that loved us all.
Okay, so here's the deal. What I was looking for the reaction, right? A spoken, like a statement from the nation. And if you don't keep up with this, you don't. Toodles, kudos, toodles, caboodles for you. But their official statement is the minister has reserved the right to even comment on it. And he's told everybody in the nation, do not comment on it. Because he's standing on what he said. If there's a problem, we'll talk about it. We ain't talking about this in the media, like I said. Now, that in itself, where they're saying, well, the other context we have to look at this in is we don't know what they showed Kanye, right? So if they showed him a sound bite of something, or they put some kind of little video together and, you know, how they do it, manipulate it and showed it to him and he heard something, right, then that could be why he reacted the way he did. But even in that case, all you got to do, he has his number. They've communicated before. So all he has to do is, hey,
no doubt.
They're both from Chicago. So, hey, man, what's boom, 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 boom. So that's all I'm saying. That to me, that's
do your research.
I would say this though.
Crazy in front of the first camera you get in front of.
Hey, I will say this. When we do feel disrespected by somebody, it's hard for anybody to tell us to chill out, to stop. We do what the fuck we feel like we need to do. Whether it's going to punch a motherfucker in the mouth or just saying something. We usually do what the fuck we feel like we finna do. Again, we all know Kanye ain't all the way right. You know what I mean? Something ain't ticking all the way. You know what I'm saying? But like again, you ain't gonna let nobody disrespect you if you feel like they disrespecting you. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's too many. I feel like it's too many people. I got Kanye back too, just like the next man. Do I agree with some of the shit he do? No, just like the next man. But sometimes people wipe his ass a little too much. You know, stop wiping that man's ass. This man's still worth $500 million and shit, and people still feel like they got to go buy his toilet paper for him, man. You know what he's saying and what he's doing. He got to show some respect, dog. He was out of order for that, and I'm out.
With me, it ain't even a point of being Kanye. Like I said, it's the point of feeling disrespected and what you do about it. Like we could take the whole name out of it. That's why I said if I feel disrespected, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah, I've heard cats.
I may not get on social media with it. Y'all know I don't kick it like that, but that's just me.
I've heard cats.
Everybody ain't the same way. You know what I mean? Now, when you talking about a motherfucker that get on social media like that do that shit, you got to be ready for them to do that.
I've heard cats make up beef before. Like I've seen some mog ass dudes make up a beef with somebody else and say he said something disrespectful, and it really wasn't disrespectful at all. And that person is just what I said they is. There's a fucking mog, and they was trying to start some shit with some real ones out of some hate or some envy or some ignorance. So that's what I'm saying. There was nothing disrespectful in Farrakhan's address. There was nothing there. I watched it 3 times. So fuck Kanye. You don't deserve all my time. Right? Fuck him. I don't wear Adidas no more anyways. But yeah, cancel Jerry Jones, man. And I wanted to just to get back to Jerry Jones. We as black people are aware of something. We need to let white people know this. We know that there are old white prejudiced men, old prejudiced white men. We know that if you lived in the 50s and the 60s and the 40s during that time, you are probably a racist white person because it was the way you were raised. It was the way the society was. So for you to try and whitewash it now, and or for us to even be that naive to think like, I bet you if you track down most of those white people on that photo with Jerry Jones, most of them were prominent in their own right and had some money or some stature somewhere, and you're like, damn, I didn't know you was there. Oh shit, I was just looking. Me and Jerry didn't know what was going on. Yes, we understand. We know old white people are usually prejudiced, right? We know they're usually racist, so it's not a big surprise. So that's what I'm saying. He should just come out and say, hey man, okay, yeah, that was what was popping. I just want to make my point about old white men. Old white people in general usually are pretty racist. I mean, I'm not gonna say all of them, but the majority of old white people that I see, you can just see it. You can see the expression on you when you walking past them or you driving past them. You just see it. We can pick up that energy. So
what happened at my son's school today, and I feel like I need to go up there tomorrow. I'm going up there tomorrow because somebody need to go up there tomorrow and say something. So anyway, he hops in the car and he's like, yeah, our social studies teacher, he was talking about history, and he was saying that black people and black children are used to not having fathers around because they used to sell the father during slave days.
Okay.
I'm like, so we are used to not having fathers all the way back to motherfucking slavery. That's what this white man is saying. He's white, correct? Yeah. I'm like, so not welfare and the man having to leave the home, not crack, but all the way back to slavery. Not because everybody was being sold, children, women, men, just because men were being sold, that we used to not have men in the motherfucking house. Somebody need to go up there and talk to these white folks that's trying to teach a room full of black children.
Yeah, I mean, but we send our kids to them. We send our kids out there to them.
I don't feel like he has the right to say why something is like something in our community. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I'm gonna tell you, in a sense, I do feel like a lot of shit that happened in slavery may have desensitized us a bit from family. I ain't gonna say that's the reason. I ain't saying that's the reason, But I feel like slavery may have desensitized us a bit from family, that family thing. You know what I
I feel
mean?
like it was a lot of family before welfare and crack and shit. I feel like it was a lot of households, a lot of love, a lot of unity, and then we got fucked up.
Yeah, all that. Yeah,
Well, I hear what Kamar's saying. I understand that perspective, but I'm hearing Courtney, and I think I'm somewhere in the middle in that. Absolutely, slavery had an effect on families, but
Right.
our family structures was what brought us through it,
right.
right? Like because we were allowed to a certain degree to still have our families. You was just under extreme subjugation. They didn't really penetrate, no pun intended. They didn't really penetrate our communities until they broke down the family structure. So, like Courtney said, I think pre-crack epidemic and things of the mass incarceration, the black family structure was more intact and there was more fathers around. So it's not that you ever get used to not having men around. It's an asinine statement for him to say that. That's what kind of research have you done that provided
Especially
you
being a white man
with
and say something like that.
Exactly. So
right?
like I gotta go up there tomorrow. I gotta talk to somebody. I gotta hear what you said, sir. What did you tell these children yesterday? The fuck did you say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what do you know? That's what I'm
I'd like to
saying.
know too.
Have
Yeah.
you what research have you done? Can you show me what study you have that you talking about something that happened 500-600 years ago, and you saying, "Oh, that's why y'all used to not having fathers." Because guess what? The kids ain't used to having fathers. They fucked up by it. It's dysfunctional, right? So it's not like we celebrate that in the community. Like, oh well, we don't care about fathers. No way. That's not true. So that's a pretty asinine statement. I don't. If you go up there, you just got to be careful. Where's he at? Is he in? You said he's in. Where's he at? Where's
I'm
he
here
in
while we
school?
toast at that little private school right on
Okay, Wauwatosa.
yeah, we right
Okay. Okay.
there. So, I'm a slide up.
Paris LaShawn said, I wouldn't be surprised if George Wallace was present. Frog face segregation today, segregation tomorrow, dude. Right. Well, that's what the George Wallace said. Segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. This was the methodology of the times. That was their
Forever.
mentality. Sharon Evans said that he definitely needs to be talked to, and also the principal. Um, said yet they allow that, and at the same time trying to prevent the true history from being taught in classrooms. Yeah, and so you want to get away with critical race theory and stuff like that, but this is the problem when you start doing that, because this is what you supplemented with. Now you start filling our kids' heads up with dumb shit like, "Hey, mama, is we used to not having daddies because of slavery?" I mean, can you imagine a kid come like, would you be like, "What the fuck you just said to me? What did you just ask
Right.
me?" I'm going to that goddamn school tomorrow. Who the fuck told you that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, so yeah. Absolutely. Ewok. Earl Henning, shout out to Earl Henning. He said only in white Wisconsin where a white teacher think they had a part where they say anything to black kids. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Um this is what we're talking about, right? What's your choice as a parent when you want your kids educated? You're trying to find a school where that child will be academically serviced, right? So you say the suburban school system operates better than the inner city school, than MPS, than Milwaukee Public Schools, which on some statistical levels is very true. We have learning achievement gaps, we have funding issues, and MPS is man, it's a tough place. But so what's your alternative? I'm gonna send him out to Brookfield, or I'm gonna send him out to Tulsa, or I'm gonna send him out. And then when you send them out there, they got to deal with this type of shit, right? So it kind of devalues the value that you was looking for. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, but definitely as a parent, I wouldn't sit on my hands with that. I would say, I just want you to explain that statement to me. I want you to tell
Yeah,
me where you got your research from. Let's
yeah.
talk about this. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, I think you should say something, Courtney.
You know
Um,
I
yeah.
you
But
know
that's what I'm saying. We send our kids out. I sent them all the way out to Brookfield. And in your
The
mind,
fuck is
it's
you
cool.
teaching my son?
Right. When you get out there, nigger, and all this, now you gotta deal with this shit every day. So, but yeah, I don't we don't support that. That's some bullshit. I mean,
my son been slapping kids lately. I mean that's nothing to smile about, but yeah, slapping their motherfucking mouth. That's what they
wait a minute.
no, keep your hands to yourself though at the same time. It's kind of hard, the double standards. Like keep your hands to yourself, slap the shit out of them. It's hard.
Yeah, you better be careful in Tulsa who he slapped, because
Oh no, not him, not him. My little baby. He had Harambe. He slapping people. My little baby. He
big ups to the little baby
yeah,
for slapping
Harambe
people. See how we be with our kids? You smack the shit out of them, right? I don't know how many weapons my mother sent me to school with if I ever told her I was getting bullied and shit. It'd be all kinds of hammers and screwdrivers in your book bag the next day. It used to be hilarious. Go get that dog chain out the pantry. It's like, she was like, we're not doing no bullying. Yeah, man. Yeah, black parents, man, you gotta love them. Paris LaShawn said, "What's your thoughts on the MPD molesting 74 young black men?" I touched on this in season 2, episode 35. Yeah, we've talked about that so many times in the past, especially when we acquired the information that these settlements that these individuals are given because of egregious police behavior are the responsibility of the taxpayer.
Our
We talked
generation
about
lived through that shit here in Milwaukee.
that. Yeah, yeah. We talking about the booty bandit cops. I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, I knew somebody that had went through that was going through the case. Yeah, it got touched. I knew somebody. Yeah, it'd be wild. Like especially when you know somebody that's
Oh, I thought y'all was talking about how they pull up on the corner and pull your pants down and shit, looking for dope.
Yeah, that's what we talking about. We
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
what
the
I'm
cops
talking
who
about.
was doing the
Yeah.
illegal cavity searches. Yeah.
Okay.
You see the youngster like, yeah, then they had, you know what I'm saying, touch my, you know what I'm saying, rectum. I was like, damn, he brave. There's a G.
Yeah.
I'm not admitting that shit on television. I'll testify and shit, but I'm not gonna be. Can we interview you? Yeah, I'd like to talk about it. No, I'm cool.
Yeah, I like to talk about it.
Not on camera, bro. He said, I'm going to therapy for the shit. He just, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. And then he hesitated. He said, then you know what I'm saying, he touched my, you know what I'm saying, rectum. I said, why you say rectum, man? Why you should just say
What would you rather? He said booty hole.
No, all he had to say was they assaulted me. They physically assaulted me.
He could
That's
have
all you
just
had to say.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, he trying to get his money.
Yeah.
They got their money.
He
They
trying
all got paid.
He needs some more.
Oh, he already
ain't
got
getting
paid.
Yeah, they got paid.
What the fuck you doing the interview for? Shit.
Well, I think it was when it first happened and they was doing the investigation and the media caught a hold of it because it was a big story. But keep in mind, this is about 3 years now. This happened about 3-4 years ago, I think. You know,
Yeah.
so it's old, but that clip surfaced on the internet and people started talking about it again. But I think this brother Paris said he talked about it on his show. You know, yeah, but yeah, we were here. We know Common Ground, and they went and got the lawsuit. And it was a lot of them. 74 dudes had to get, you know, a piece of the settlement. That's crazy. Sharon Evans said my daughter attended a private Catholic school in Wauwatosa also. But please believe she received a great education, and the teachers and principals, students, and other parents knew we were black and proud. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. You're right, Sharon. Earl Henning said, put that lock in the sock. Uh-oh. Somebody about to get their wig split when you put the lock in the sock. It's not just the MPD, it's also CPS. Shit, they all are part of the sex trafficking ring. Okay, so this is linked to sex trafficking, right? Ace Cooley in Maui on the beach watching Outlaw Radio. Shout out to him. Monday night, man. Hit us up 262-202-5131. If you hear anything we've talked about that you have a comment on, please don't hesitate to make that comment. Chat room, call in. Like I said, man, Cash App, appreciate it. It's Outlaw Radio. Kamar, Christmas is coming up. I hope you're getting ready. I'm hoping you're getting ready because
I'm gonna be vending somewhere.
Okay.
I'm gonna be on the grind, man. Getting somebody some elderberry or something for the flu or the cold or something.
Yeah, man.
I'm
Y'all better hit this brother up. Y'all better hit this brother up, man. You get that little cough, that little sore throat. You better hit this man. Get some of that elderberry, man. I'm telling you, that's potent.
Yeah. It's the
elderberry's
truth.
potent. Yeah,
it's the truth, Roof.
Yeah, man.
It's the truth.
Wow.
And mine ain't just no ordinary elderberry. Mine ain't just no ordinary elderberry. You know what I mean? I got stuff mixed in mine. It ain't just elderberry like you're going to get a lot of places. You're going to get that turmeric in there. You're going to get that ginger in there. You're going to get echinacea. Echinacea is like a sister herb that makes the elderberry, or they work better together. Elderberry and echinacea. A lot of the time, herbs have a complementary herb that works well with it. You know, sea moss and bladderwrack, turmeric and black pepper. elderberry and echinacea. You know what I mean? So I mix those also. But then I also put cinnamon in there and some liniment. So mine tastes good. You know what I mean? It's just not elderberry. It's flavorful also.
I tell you, I mixed that with some citrus tea my wife would make with a lemon. Knocked
Mm-hmm.
everything right up out of me. I was like, oh shit. Like a couple
Yeah.
days on my feet. I was on my
Man,
feet.
it's the truth. I'm telling you, elderberry will knock the flu out of you in 48 hours. You'll be back on your feet, like you just said.
I tell people when I had COVID and I was taking elderberry and vitamins and all kinds of stuff, and it was, man, I walked right up out of it. I'm not saying I don't know, I'm just saying the proof in the pudding, right? I was taking all that shit. Kamar dropped me a survival bag off over here. I
Yeah.
was, man, beat that shit back. Let me see. Earl Henning said, like the 1980 riots at Pulaski High School. You know what? I didn't know about the riots in 1980. I know I've heard about Madison High School having a riot, a race riot. But we've always, we don't mix, man. We don't mix. And so a lot of times if there's a large population of black kids at a school, like one of those far out suburban schools or whatever, sooner or later it's gonna all come to a head, man. Usually, and because the staff is like a lot of times oblivious to what they're not, because they know what's going on. They know what's going on. I take that back. They're not oblivious to shit. They just turn a blind eye until one of the black kids act out. Then it's all of a sudden, oh, we gotta call
Mm-hmm.
Iran's parents, right?
Right.
Tunde. We gotta call his dad. I don't know no brother named Latunde. I was trying, y'all. Now we talk about like people in the media, and people who are critical of other people, and so Charles Barkley was very critical of Kyrie, and for a lot of the NBA dudes, it doesn't really make sense to me because especially like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or like a Dennis Rodman, and I'm not saying Dennis Rodman said anything or done anything, but even Jordan. Game changers who initially, the NBA has some resistance against, because believe it or not, it was very controversial for Michael Jordan to wear his Jordan shoes in the beginning. Nike, they weren't a sponsor of the NBA, and the NBA was fining Jordan. It was controversial to wear baggy shorts after so long of wearing the little chokers. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, absolutely a mission against the system. One of the most stand-up dudes we've had in terms of showing white America, I'm not gonna stand for this. And he was critical of Kyrie. So I don't really get the NBA dudes. But did you see the pictures of Charles Barkley? Because the internet will get your ass. They brought back the old Sports Illustrated article where he had the chains on, chained up like a slave. Did you see these
Yeah.
pictures?
Yeah, I seen it.
I mean, it's like,
How ironic.
man, right. Like the things he said they are who he said they were, right? Like, and so we know we're close enough to this thing, Kamar, now where we can call a coon and a spade a spade. And I think that's why what my thing is with the whole mentality of giving people their proper respect. Like
Hey,
there's
even
certain
with
laws,
Shaq. Hey, even with Shaq though, Shaq promoted the same book that Kyrie
right?
reposted.
Exactly, in this theater, right? And
Yeah.
known or unbeknownst, as they say, because I've heard some people say he didn't know, but they got a picture of him, whatever.
It don't
So,
matter if you
Because
knew or
he's
not.
slow a little bit. He's
right.
slow as hell.
So, you talking about Shaq?
Yeah, Shaq's slow. Be talking all that shit and you'd have the same movie in your theater. And people saying he didn't know, but that's a damn shame if you don't know what you got going on in your own business and you were right there in front of the poster promoting it, sir.
I think Shaq is very smart though. I don't think he's slow. I think he when you going out there on that coon train, sometimes it's hard to reel it in, man. When you choo choo and you rolling down the tracks, coon train is
And that's when I
coming.
feel like you could just be quiet. You don't have to always say something, but I feel like they always feel like their money might be in jeopardy, and that's so not slow, but yeah, coonish. Let's go with that, coonish.
Yeah, but once again, here we go about being on code, in which if you got a problem with a young brother, go and talk to the brother. You gain no ground. You gain no ground by busting this individual out in the media. If there's nothing else that we should have learned from Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam, The biggest mistake was made by my brother Malcolm, who I have tremendous respect for, by going to the media, by going to the white media and blasting. If you got a problem with Elijah Muhammad, it's cool. And if you got him dead to right and say, you know what, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, right? But come on, go holler at him and let it go. People say, well, you're no longer with him. Well, I just decided to move in a different direction. I felt like you owed some sort of respect to that man. And so I feel like we as black people owe a certain level of respect to Farrakhan. Obviously, everybody doesn't agree. I feel like some people deserve respect.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
so
I agree, Kev. Like, you know what I mean? Like I say, I respect him to the utmost. But like I said, if Jesus stuck his head through the crowd and said some or if I felt like he said something foul about me, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna correct it. I mean, I don't think nothing wrong with that. I ain't putting no names to it. I'm just saying with anybody. If and
I think Jesus is a
I
bad
don't feel
example.
like I don't feel like I heard Farrakhan say nothing disrespectful either. I felt like he was 100% behind it. That's why I said if he stuck his head through the cloud and said something that I felt like was foul. You
I
know what I
think
mean?
Jesus
I got
is a
the right
bad
to say
example.
something.
I think Jesus is a bad example, Kamar. Like, come on.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying. I'm
if Jesus
just
stuck
take
his
that
head
for to
through the
say
cloud.
that. You know what I mean? I got the right to defend myself and say,
Well,
like, wait a minute, that was foul, man.
I tell you what, if he stuck his head through the cloud and he had that kind of power and you said something back to him, poof, I'm pretty sure
I
it'd be
probably
over
wouldn't
anyways.
I probably wouldn't say nothing back, right? If
No,
that
you
really
gangster.
happened, I
I
probably wouldn't
slap
say nothing
Jesus.
back.
I slap Jesus. Right?
Hey,
That's you.
but you know what I mean? Like I said, I ain't putting no
I
names
get
to
what
it.
you're
I'm just
saying.
saying, you know, when you feel disrespected by anybody, Kevin, you know what I'm saying? You gonna say something.
Well,
But you know what I mean? It's a
my
way that you
approach.
gonna do it. And like I say,
Right.
Kanye probably he just ain't that way. Social media is his telephone now. You
Yeah,
know
he's
what
a
I'm
coon.
saying?
He's a coon for
Yeah,
that. That's
I
coonish.
ain't gonna kick it like that and get on social media and you know what I mean and go back and forth with nobody. But
He
some
said,
people are.
did Charles Barkley have a kid with a white woman? I don't know if he has kids. I know he was married to or has been married to a white woman for a very long time. Listen, those cats are totally they're commodities, man. They're bought and sold, bro. Like we know as a professional athlete, there's certain things that you can't do and can't say because it'll risk you risking your paper. And at that level he's at, of course he's compromised. That's why he had the chains on. But I know he loves white people. He's a Republican backer. Like, and I'm not saying Republican like that's indicative of whether or not somebody's a coon, but we know how most conservative Republican loving Negroes be.
But what are you saying, Kevin?
Right, right. We know most of them. We know how they are, right? He said, and Kyrie and Kanye love them some white women too. I can believe it. Sharon
Yeah,
Evans,
you
I
probably
believe it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's and see, and you know what I mean. That's like I say, that's something else you may agree with him with, or may not agree with him on. Just like any other brother, you know what I mean, that may have a white woman. Okay, you don't agree with him on that, but I'm sure it's a lot of other shit that you may agree with him.
yeah. Well, this dude is really getting to be just one thing. Like the more he talks, the more I realize what I don't agree with him about. So it's like Kanye, just shut up. But
I feel like
once
this
again,
next
I do
election gonna
understand
be
that
throwing
Kanye
this shit
doesn't give
down.
a shit about us. He don't give a shit
Hey,
about us.
Damn, like George Bush.
Right,
Like when you said that.
right. Kanye doesn't care about black people. Right.
I
I'm
Same.
don't
putting.
know. I think you do.
I don't think he
I
does.
think you do too. He's had
I
a little
think you
bit.
do, man.
I don't know. We have to see, but actions.
People say, Kevin, you don't know how much money he's given, and I don't, because I don't know the details of his philanthropic efforts. So that's probably one thing. But I'm
Remember,
making I'm making a wild guess.
you know what I mean. For a while, he was fighting prison reform. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And when you
yeah.
talk about prison reform, that's shit you talking about mostly for us, because
Yeah.
we the main
I don't know.
motherfuckers
I
in
don't
there.
know that he was. Kim Kardashian was working to get prisoners freed. I don't know that people say he was trying to cozy up to Trump because he was trying to get Larry Hoover free.
Free
But,
Hoover.
but he's never really been about prison reform per se.
You don't
That
think
I can.
so?
No, I don't. I mean, you use it to your
I
advantage.
thought that was one of the things that was one of the points that he was talking about when he went to holler at Trump. Prison reform was one of the things.
I just thought he was trying to. I don't know. I might be wrong, Kamar, but I could have swore the focus of it was he wanted to get Larry Hoover free, and Kim Kardashian had been. She worked to get a
Yeah,
couple brothers
she
free.
been fighting. She been working on it. She was working on it too. But I'm just saying that was one of the bullet points that he had to talk about. That was on that thing.
I think her shit stopped when she didn't get in law school. I think she didn't get in law school, and she was like, "Well, fuck them niggas then. Let them stay in jail." Ernest
Right.
Walker saying, "Kamar, do you scream it out for attention, or do you just make the call?" He's talking about, if you feel slighted by somebody.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Kanye West probably just ain't that make the call type of person. I am. You know what I mean? If I got a problem, I'm gonna come. I rather holler at you one on one. Kev, you know this. You know what I mean? You know me about that. We had the one dude with us. You know what I'm saying, in your basement, and we was on the way outside. Hold on, man. Let me holler at you. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no audience.
Listen, first of all, I want y'all to know this is one of the funniest nights ever. It wasn't funny at the time, but it's funny when I think about it now. Because if you watch that show and it's buried in the archives, it's buried in YouTube somewhere. I just realized we have over 200 shows on YouTube. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I got to figure out a way to push some of those shows. But yeah, you and shit got heated in the conversation, and the man really kind of stepped out his bounds. And I just watched Kamar's whole kind of like demeanor change, right? Like, so I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Kamar on the other side of this brother, and Kamar kind of changes forms, like, hey man, like you started in on the air, but then you was like, all right, cool, and then you're right. As soon as it was over, I mean, I'm the same way too. I remember my brother Ajamu and myself. We had
Yeah,
a
that's what I'm
little
saying. You know what I mean?
situation. We had a little situation. I didn't jump on. It wasn't nothing major either. So for anybody out there, ooh, Ajamu, it was just a miscommunication about being on the show. So before people go running with some bullshit. And so I'm like, oh no. And so I didn't go jump on Facebook. Kamar gave me his number. I called him. But Kamar, you was like, what are you doing? Don't call him. What are you doing? I'm like, nah, man, I got to make the call. So,
You
we
gotta
have
make
to
the
deal
call.
with, gotta make the call. You gotta make
Well,
the
you
call.
know, Kev, I was saying, let me holler at him first. Remember?
I remember. But like you said, when somebody feel disrespected, they gonna do what they gonna do.
See
Right.
what
I
I'm
can't help
saying?
my
That's my
stuff.
that was my point right there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
he
but
just
like I said, I was quick to make the call as opposed to getting on Facebook to
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
nigga,
yeah.
woo, woo. Like, it wasn't, and thank God I did, and thank God it worked out the way it did, because that's my brother, and he's been on the show several times since, and we chopped it up. That's what happens when you make the call. That's
Right,
what happens when you make the call. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So it
It's
wasn't even
usually
no
work out
middleman or
better.
no go betweens or nothing. It was me and him, boom, 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 boom,
But
boom,
for
and it was
all
done.
we know, Kanye may have made that call now that he did this bullshit ass dumbass thing he did. Because maybe somebody did show him a fucked up clip. Then maybe he did say the bullshit he said. Then maybe he did actually see what Farrakhan said, and maybe he made the call. I mean, sometimes we don't know what the fuck going on in the midst of their lives, but maybe he has made the call. Farrakhan told
Very
niggas not
true.
to respond, and they may have hashed it out. He like, my bad, man. But it seemed like his I want to be on the all in the screen. He would have got back on and apologized. Like, my bad.
Well,
But
some people
I
quick
don't
to
know.
throw the rock, but they quicker to hide their hand. And they ain't as quick
Right.
to come out and say I was wrong in that regard. And see, that's the thing we got to learn as a people too. It's okay to be wrong. I can sit here and tell you unequivocally that 10, 15 years ago, I stood on some shit right now. I mean, back then, that right now I would tell you was totally wrong. So if you say, Kev, man, you was woo, 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 I say, you know what, brother, you right. I was wrong. That's what I was on back then, right? I'm not gonna say, oh no, it really wasn't like that. I was just curious. No, I was participating in the beat down too, right? Look at people scrambling. What beat down? What beat down? You will never know. Uh let me see. He said Earl Henning said Kanye sacrificed his blackness. Sacrificed it. Can you sacrifice your blackness? How do you do that? Is it the white woman? Is it the asinine coonery buffoonery? Is it what is it? What is it? How do you sacrifice it? Let's talk about it. 262-202-5131. Outlaw Radio,
Hey,
just for
and
denial.
then can you get it back? That's the second part of the question.
Right.
Can you get it back?
He said they're about to Me Too Kanye West ass. Kanye said, "Can't nobody touch him." He said he can't be controlled. All that said Sharon. Hey, justice for Denari Peer. Hit the Cash App, share the show, share the show. Let me put this up. Justice for Denari, Outlaw Radio. Denari Peer had his family on a couple weeks ago. They're out here trying to get things done with the low bail. And a lot of these repeat offenders are being released on. So shout out to them. Shout out to Patience Phillips. Shout out to Sean Moore. Yeah, man. Now here's something very funny. I got this little cold, right? from running up and down the highway. And so I was thinking, like, man, I need to take some, black people, so we gotta take some tussin. We gotta take some tussin. And I seen this, I was looking online, like, what's the best home remedies, even though I rocks with Kamar and I rocks with my wife on hers. I ran across this interesting story that said August, for the first time, the majority of the deaths from COVID, 58% of the deaths from COVID in August were people who were vaccinated, and in some cases boosted 2 or 3 times.
Damn.
So people who have had the vaccine, the deaths, they died from COVID at a higher rate than people who are unvaccinated.
Thanks.
So that conversation is going on right now, which is where's the pandemic at? Because nobody's ever come out and officially said it's over. People have not stopped getting COVID, right? And people have not stopped dying from COVID. The world had to open back up, right? It had to. So I kind of feel like they created the fear and then they quelled the fear. And in the meantime, COVID is still what it was from the gate.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been misinformed, right? Led astray, run amok, bamboozled, right?
Hornswoggle.
Right. I feel like somebody somewhere along the way has perpetuated some lies. Let's talk about that. What do you think about this now, especially hearing this come out? Because we've said many times on this show, wait a minute, if it doesn't prevent you from getting it or transmitting it, what is the purpose of taking it?
You want to know what I think about it?
Absolutely.
We was right. That's what I think about it. We was right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I also feel like Facebook owes us an apology too for taking down all the goddamn posts that we posted.
Hell yeah, hiding everybody's stuff, making it so people can't see you no more, all of that.
The same shit I said in the beginning. Focus on your immune system. The same shit that they talking about now.
Yes. And I'm not, once again, I had COVID, or what they call COVID, or what they would label it. At this point, I don't know what it was or is. It was definitely something. It was definitely something. Trust me.
Right,
and
right.
Thank God I was able to my body was naturally able to fight it off. Some people were not as fortunate. Now, I've said this many times as well. During that time period, it seemed like anybody who went into a hospital and died, they just said they had COVID. It's just like it was elderly people. It's killing old people mostly, because who dies normally at a regular pace? Older people, right? Like their time is up. So It's easy to say they had COVID. Now, some people really had some issues. I'm not going to downplay that. For anybody who sat up or who had to get a respirator or who had to really battle through COVID, I'm not saying it wasn't real. But I just think the way they marketed the vaccine, I think the vaccine was a sham. And I keep saying, I don't think they told us anything to this day that's different from what they told us in the beginning. So to make a long story short, we don't know any more now than we did then. And when it turned into the discussion of, okay, what can I do? And people like Kamar, who did say, strengthen your immune system, like really, really, and really keep yourself clean, keep things clean around you. And of course, it's wise to not be all up in people's face and going in places with a whole bunch of people, right? And so the fact that right now, the people who have the vaccine have died at a higher pace or a greater percentage than people who were not, because the whole time remember at one point they was trying to build this whole movement of, if you were not vaccinated, they were trying to ostracize you. We're gonna
Yep.
make you get it so you can have a job. And there's oh,
Yep.
you unvaccinated, you ain't vaccinated, you can't
Man,
come in here.
they did so many people like that. You get the
Yeah.
vaccination or lose your job ass shit.
Yeah, yeah. And people who were vaccinated, there was a kind of like, oh, I'm because of the campaigns and all this, I'm vaccinated. I'm protected. And you're not though. They keep telling you, and even when they came with no, go get it boosted.
Hey, how about the boosted and blessed commercials that's going on right now?
Boosted
Boosted and blessed. Boosted and blessed.
Right.
So since I'm not boosted, I'm not blessed.
I don't,
Fuck out of here with that bullshit.
It's crazy. I will say this. One day when the truth comes out about all of this, people are going to be really, really upset. And once again, I'm not doubting the severity of what the extreme cases could be, but the parallel that we kept hearing during the pandemic from certain people was, listen, more people are still dying from the flu than from COVID, right? Like, so we're not even paying attention to that. And then there was this variants, and there was different kinds of COVID, and then monkeypox came. Monkeypox. They didn't tell you that it's spread by primarily by gay and bisexual men, right? So if you having sex with a gay dude with no mask on, y'all totally missed that joke. You gonna get monkeypox and COVID, so that was the joke. Okay, but yeah, man. She was like, "Oh, okay, is that what that was?" Okay. Oh man, what y'all think about that? Courtney? What you think about the whole now that the people who are dying from COVID, are the majority of them are people who've been vaccinated?
Oh, hold on. I don't want y'all to see me eating this food. I've been eating all day.
Watch out.
But the people that you shouldn't have been getting in the first place. Nobody knew what was in it. When you get everything else and you don't know what's in it, it doesn't matter. They wouldn't lie to us. Just take the shot. I don't care what's in it. All these different people not giving a fuck and yelling at you for not getting it. You're killing everybody for not getting it. Now look at you, just dying on your goddamn own.
Yeah, that to me is what we kept saying was, what is okay? You took the vaccination. I've asked several people. You took it. What was in it? Because if it doesn't prevent you from getting it, and it don't prevent you from transmitting it, what was actually in the needle? Like,
especially for you to go get a second one, and then
right?
Like, why are you still going back? What you doing?
Was this some sugar water or something? I don't know. Is this a placebo or something? I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting feedback on my microphone either. But yeah, right.
Right.
Man, when they finally tell us what was in that needle, I think a lot of people are gonna be like, you don't think it'll ever come to like light what was in there?
Hell no. They don't never in anything.
Because it didn't work.
We know they had a little bit of COVID in there. They was trying to take niggas out. Niggas did get taken out. Some people. So we know some shit in there. Yeah, we know that.
Let me see. Deion James in the chat room, he said Kanye he made women watch porn, so that's why he said he's about to get Me Too. And they said he made them watch filmed video of Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I heard.
Once again, man, this brother's disturbed, man. Like, he got some things going on upstairs that I can't. Whatever. Like Kamar just said it best.
Me doing what I do.
There.
Hey, we got to remember too, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if you feel like somebody has a mental disorder, some issues like that, seriously, you know what I mean? It ain't cool to talk about them like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because they sick. Like, really, it's an illness. Like, you know what I mean? You talk about people because they got arthritis.
I
mean, we could. We could.
I was just gonna say, sometimes niggas talk about their hands. So,
well, I think black people pioneer.
But y'all get where I'm going with it, though.
But you know that's the fucked up part about black
Like
folks.
it's some real shit I'm talking about though. This is, you know what I mean? It's a real thought right here. You know what I mean? Do you love your people or not? We gonna talk about them, we gonna shit on them, or you know what I mean? Are we just gonna hope he gets some help?
He still needs to be accountable. He needs to be held accountable. I understand what you're saying, but he needs to be held accountable. Because if he
Yeah,
that goddamn
and
sick,
seeing
he needs
that's
to sit his ass
different.
down
Now
somewhere.
holding them accountable is different.
Right. You can't do that when you
But you know what I mean? Now when we get to the point where we disrespecting and calling these names and shit, and you know what I mean, you talking about somebody who you also saying has a mental illness, like that really ain't cool. And this ain't even gotta be Kanye. This could be anybody.
I called him a coon, so I'm guilty. But I'm willing to admit it.
My mama got mental issues and she has no accountability. Nigga, I try to bring up the past. Gordy, it's your fault. You did. It's just like Nick. So you just ain't going. No, none of that was on you. No. So people with mental issues, for Kanye, he might not have no accountability. He might, nigga, fuck y'all. Y'all, niggas, not me.
Right.
Well, you know, holding them accountable is one thing. You know what I mean, but talking about them and stuff is something different.
Right. Yeah. So by me calling him a fucking Sambo, buck dancing Sambo coon is wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of fucking, man. Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Is your what is it, Kev?
But you know what I mean? Because hey, everything is perspective. You know what I mean? Too.
No contribution, like some Kev words. You just criticizing.
You said what, Courtney?
So what's your contribution to the situation, or if you just criticizing, Kev?
No, you know what? But he's not my community. He's not from my community. He ain't part of my community at all. So, and I don't owe him. I don't owe him shit. He don't owe me shit either.
No.
Well, it's not the same. To be a member of this community, and I was born and raised here, so I feel like I do owe something. At least being a productive citizen, being a contributor to society at large. You know, raising my family and doing the best I can to be an asset. Is you know that is work towards the community. So I have done enough work in this community to criticize it to the fullest, because nobody can say to me, your criticism outweighs your contribution. I'd laugh in their face. I would laugh at them because I got 20 years of working, 20 plus years of working in this community, front lines to administrative to managerial to professional to grassroots. I mean, you know, like Mike Tyson say, my resume is impeccable. So I'm good. Let me see. Let me catch the chat room up. Ooh, interesting conversation. Let me say this name right, y'all know I'm remedial. Rivero Stinnett said, now look at you. I think he's talking about the what was in the vaccination. Erica Veal said it was nanotechnology in that shot.
Hell yeah.
Watch out. Saline.
Call in and explain that. Hold on, call in and explain that, Erica.
Nanotechnology. Okay.
Nanos, hell yeah.
Let us know where you're going with that. Call in. Let us know where you're going with that.
He said saline and nanotechnology. Earl Henning said a low dose.
I said saline earlier.
Earl Henning said a low dose of fentanyl. I hope not. They couldn't. He said they couldn't decide on what COVID symptoms are. That's what Rivero Stinnett is saying. Oh man, moving further along. I agree with you. The messages has been all over the place, my brother, for a long time. I was from the start. I was saying something ain't right here. Paris LaShawn. Let me see. Am I frozen? Same here. Paris LaShawn said. I think I am frozen. My comments are.
What you froze for, Kel? What you can't see?
I don't know. My comments are frozen. They won't let me click on more. We talking about COVID, so they might shut the shit down. Like you know how they do it.
Paris LaShawn said that he refused.
Said that word too many times, nigga.
Right. Can you say keep saying COVID? Say COVID one more time, nigga. Say it one more time.
One more motherfucking time.
All I'm gonna do is just read them off. I can see them on my phone.
Oh, you can't read them, or you just can't click them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't show them on the screen right.
Say COVID one more motherfucking time.
Oh damn, they did not care off. They not care off.
Damn. Hey, really? Can you say? Ain't that some shit? Can you say COVID? It can't not Kev off because it's his show.
Exactly.
He doing it right. Like I don't know what the hell just happened. There you go.
Damn, they kicked Kev off.
They gave me a warning. They kicked me off.
Hey, they said say it one more time, nigga. He said it.
Right. COVID.
All right, now we're gonna let you back on. Don't do that shit no more. Chill out.
Say it one more motherfucking time.
I am not
Say it
your
one more
grandfather's
motherfucking time,
Negro.
nigga.
Okay, so let me catch up. Nanotechnology. Don't tell me I got booted off on Facebook too. Did I get kicked off?
I want him to call in and talk about that, man.
Yeah, I can't see the comments, so I'm just gonna read them. Let me see. I'm gonna go back up. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they got motherfuckers taking straight names. Yeah.
Okay. Paris LaShawn says, he said, I refused the shot because I didn't trust what was in it, and given the history of medical experiments on our people, like Tuskegee, once again, something we've talked about here on the show, which is why we had this sister. Where's that book? Where's my book? Oh, Marsha Thaddeson, sister in Georgia. She gave us this book and she was on the show. I know y'all can't see it. It's Marsha L. Thaddeson, Healing in the Kitchen. And she came on here and talked about natural remedies and how we used to take care of ourselves versus what we take now. That was the nature of our conversation, because we were talking about, as a black person, y'all don't have a good track record with experimentation with us. He's agreeing with that. Okay, my chat room is back up and popping. So Erica Ville said there's nothing wrong with him. He's a god. Who are we talking about, Erica? I missed. Kanye's a god? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we all gods. What you mean?
Oh,
no,
okay.
God,
Kanye's a god? Okay.
What's on you?
Yeah, I don't rock with Kanye like that, especially to say he's a god.
So just because you don't feel like you a god, we feel like we gods and goddesses around here.
I don't know if we got some 5%ers, and we got some gods in earth. Do we got some god bodies out here? I don't know. If you are, chime in. I'd like to know the science of the day, Mr. Mathematics.
Black folks, we guys. You know what I'm saying? That's what
him and Clarence Thomas need to go. Herschel Walker, because that was what Ernest Walker said, that he seen a reel that said Kanye was endorsing Herschel Walker. Like, I hope not.
I don't think I ain't heard that.
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope not, because this curtains for certain. You said you see they're protesting in front of the woman's house that accused Emmett Till. They should drag her ass to jail. All ass. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. We know what was going down back in those days. So, white people, you ain't got a lot to kick it. Just stay out the way now. I mean, it ain't, and plus what they do is more institutionalized now in terms of being racist. So, we know that. If you black and you're out there and you're surprised that some old white person did something racist in 1955, you're naive. Something's wrong with you. Kamara works both ways, bro. You can't say he's a genius and want people to consider how retarded he is at the same time.
I never said nobody was a genius.
Okay.
Where did that come from?
I'm considering him being him having mental health issues. Some people talking.
What I said was, if we know that he has mental issues, because that's what everybody keeps saying, he's retarded, right? You can't go back and talk about a brother. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? If it was the dude next door, if he got mental issues, you ain't finna go outside and calling this motherfucker names because he keep doing dumb shit. I mean, it wouldn't be, you can, but it wouldn't be right.
Niggas in the hood, though. That's what niggas in the hood do. Hawk, get your up here, Hawk. Call the nigga Hawk.
See, people, when we be talking about Kanye and shit, people be getting it fucked up because I don't be talking about Kanye. I'm speaking in general. I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. I ain't putting a name to it. I'm just saying what's real. To me, you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, if I feel slighted by somebody, I'm going to say something to them.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I ain't going to go on I ain't going to go on social media and say it to them. I'm going to holler at them. But I'm going to say something. Ain't nobody going to stop me.
I've never gone on the internet and said anything in regards to beef with anybody. I've never had a Facebook beef. One time I was pissed off about something. I can't remember what it was. Something, I think it was Philando Castile. And I seen a post a white man had put on Facebook, and I just went in and reamed him and just threatened him and said, "Meet me and I'll beat your old white ass." That's the only time I ever spilt over on Facebook. And then I had to realize what I was doing and say, I'm sorry, I'm not really gonna do nothing to you. I'm just saying, you wrong, because I'm like, boy, the feds would be on my ass. But it was funny. That's the only time I've never, like, I'm still old school. So if it's an issue, I'm gonna hit your line. Like, dog, what's good, man? What's the bullshit, man? Let's holler at your boy. Earl Hennig said in 2025, everybody that got vaccinated will still be alive. Everybody that didn't will be dead. Really? But so we'll all die by 2025 if we didn't get the vaccination? But they dying now. Why are you saying that everybody
Right.
that didn't will be dead? They're dying now. That's what we were just talking about. In August, 58% of the COVID
this?
deaths were vaccinated.
How about this as a factual statement? In 2025, it's gonna be some people dead who got boosted, and it's gonna be some people dead who didn't get boosted. How about that for a fact?
All right. Niggas die every day, B.
Ain't gonna be no. It ain't gonna. I doubt if it's gonna be everybody gonna be dead who got. Everybody gonna be dead who didn't get boosted. Come on, man. What I really feel like, I feel like the booster shots probably is killing our seeds. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really feel like. Like they trying to stop us from having kids or something. We look at everything else that they doing, like we talking about emasculating the black man. You know what I mean? Fucking up the black family. Why not do something that's gonna fuck up our seeds so we can't have kids in the future? Maybe not in this generation or the next generation, but further down in our DNA, I feel like that shit may be able to affect us.
I just need somebody to explain it to me in layman terms. What was in it? That's all I'm asking. Just I don't come with compound the triggers, crawlers, and crawlers.
Right.
No, I need to break down.
Explain yourself.
Right. I'm back. Paris LaShawn, he said we lost him. Yeah, they had come and got me for a minute, but I broke out. Erica Ville said all of it was planned 20 years ago. I've heard people say that saline is sodium chloride.
Well,
right?
no, I know what that is. We talking about the other stuff you said. We know what saline is.
Is saline in the vaccination? I don't know. Is it?
I know what saline is. Saline, that ain't nothing but the stuff they put in you when you dehydrated and shit.
Rivero Stinnett said they didn't die at work or at school or at home. The only place they died is at the hospital. It was some strange shit going on. She's saying Yay is a god. She said, what is a god? Because Courtney said we're all gods. What is a god? Oh, I wish Rail was here for that one.
Hey, because look, I'm gonna tell you something. In our culture, hey, listen, in our traditionally in our cultures, we didn't have the word God.
It's new. Just post it. Okay.
We understood nature as being that energy that, you know what I'm saying, that one energy that moves everything, that godly energy. But we didn't have a name for God. We didn't have a term for that. If it was a term that they would have used, it would have been the Tur or inter. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a term.
Courtney, you said it. So she said, what is a god? So you give us your definition of what a god is.
Get me to break some down. Here you go, Kev.
You said it. So I'm like, you just threw it out there. It's cool if you say
something and ain't got nothing to go with it. You know how people do. Got something, but what you mean? Where the facts at? Well, I can't think of it right now. I want to be one of them niggas. I don't know. No. Well, some people look at it the aspect of us being gods and goddesses just because we create our own universes. We create our own worlds. The fact that we're able to create our own people, our own little beings, and, we create. We are creators. You know what I'm saying? So you can look at it as that aspect of us being gods. But then some of us also look at an aspect of us being gods as Black folks being the ultimate motherfucking being. Black folks, like white folks can't be gods. They want to be gods, they can't. Just Black folks. White folks don't count in this. So, it's a couple aspects, and I feel like there's a couple more, but, to me, those are the top two. I wish Real was here. I wish we could use a lifeline.
Hey, what I learned is what I learned in the with the Asar Sex Society. When you talk about being gods, like it ain't really just about saying like I'm a god. You really have to cultivate your soul. You have to cultivate your spirit. Where it's like you changing yourself. You got to change yourself. All the bullshit about you, you can't be on. You ain't no god. You out here drinking and shit. You know what I mean? You ain't no god if you out here polluting your body. You ain't no god if you out here disrespecting motherfuckers. You ain't no, you know what I'm saying? God don't do that. So how can we call ourselves gods? So in our culture, it's more about elevating your spirit, working on yourself to your God self is what they would say, is the term that they used in our society. Your God self. The goal in life is to become your God self, the best version of yourself, next to the creator.
I was raised in the Baptist church, so I'm still gonna identify what my grandmama taught me about what God was. So, and it's a whole different thing than what both of you just said.
What
But
is
that's
it?
okay. That's okay. Once again, I have to echo the great Farrakhan when he said we're not gonna argue about religion. We don't know what the hell it means anyway.
That's
We'll
right.
argue about that when we get free, right? So whatever one man believes is his or her, or
Right.
one woman believes is
Right. Well,
entirely up to them.
we asked that question about, we was talking about God. Yea is a God, and this, and what is God's, and you know what I mean? So I just put my spin on it, on what I learned about that subject. You know what I mean? So like, you don't ever hear me running around talking about we gods, we this, we that, because we ain't right now. We ain't shit. We don't know how to manifest shit. We ain't doing shit right out here. We ain't living right.
I just
You know what
manifested
I'm
last
saying?
night. No, I'm just kidding.
So you know what I mean? Like, you never even hear me refer myself as a god.
Okay.
Because I know I'm not to the level where I know I should be or where I could be. You know you dig what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what the God, like in our sense, God is an earthly term. Here's something that we learned once we got here in the Americas.
Yeah.
Earl Henning said they didn't tell you that Jerry Jones had a hood. I don't know. Did he have a hood? Is there a picture of him with a hood? Like, I don't know. Show it. Let me see it. Erica Ville said he's different. He knows what we don't. She's talking about Kanye. Okay. He knows what we don't. Rivero Stinnett says white folks fables and fairy tales, a war story. I think is that what he's calling the Bible? I don't know. Erica Ville said he has duplicates and altars. Kanye has duplicates.
He
Okay,
might,
so
man. We don't know what's going on with them folks over in Hollywood. They cloning and shit. This movie coming out called They Clone Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? With Jamie Foxx. We don't know what's going on out here, Kev. They cloning Tyrone. We don't fucking know.
listen, I don't believe Kanye has clones. I'm sorry. That was a little bit far-fetched for me, Erica. But Erica's theories can be, different. They every time she contributes to the show, it's something different.
You gonna
walk? Ain't nothing wrong with that either. That's cool.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't believe he has duplicates and alters. I don't think he's that complicated. I think he's just a mentally ill rich dude. Like and when I say mentally ill, not mentally incapable, but just a victim of grief from losing his mom and supreme narcissism from the fame and the celebrity that he's acquired. I don't think he's that complicated at all. I don't think he's a grand being. I mean, shit, he's a rapper. Let me see. Vince Tony. Shout out to Vince Tony, man. Vince, I've been meaning to holler at you, man. Vince hit the Cash App, man. Shout out to Vince. Man, shout out to anybody. Hit this Cash App. Let me put my Cash App back up. Hold on. They told me you need to keep this up. Justice for Denari. Denari Pier. Justice for Denari Pier. Let me see. It's going down. Oh shoot. Y'all in the chat room. I appreciate it. Man, that conversation about what God is deep, because I gotta go all the way. I gotta go all the way back up.
It's a lot. Ooh. When people get to an art shop.
Hey, look, and then how about this? How about this perspective? God is subjective. God is whoever you think God is. God is whatever you think it is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm gonna tell you, I don't feel like every Christian has the same idea of God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some Christians feel like they could do some bullshit over here, you know what I mean, and still be godly or whatever. And then some feel like they could do this and still be godly and hide all that shit. But you know what I mean? So, but God sees all, right? So if one is wrong, we all wrong.
She said, no, it's the other way around. They had to get rid of a majority of the population. Paris LaShawn agrees with you, Kamar. Erica Veal said aborted fetuses. COVID vaccine will be used as a form of ID, says Rivero Stennett. Shout out to
I heard
Rivero
they
Stennett.
trying to push a COVID passport. For they are definitely still working on that, even though, yeah.
Kosher salt and water was in the vaccine. Is what Earl Hennig said. Erica Veal said, I am Het Heru and Mott too. Is that how you say it, y'all? Matt? How you say it? Mott.
Hey.
Okay. She said she both of them.
Okay. Nothing. I'm gonna leave it alone.
No, I mean, because I'm not. My name is Kevin.
I know about Het Heru and Ma'at. This is Ma'at right behind me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's Ma'at right behind me. Like, okay, you can't say that you can't be Het Heru. You can't be Ma'at. You are both of those already. Those are simply different energies that you have in you, different parts of your spirit. They ain't gods.
Okay.
Stop thinking. We need people to quit thinking these as gods. Egyptians, and nobody prayed to them. That ain't nothing but an aspect of your spirit. Ma'at represents truth, honesty, justice, reciprocity, and love. Balance. Okay. Ma'at brings balance. You see what I'm saying? Ma'at is not a god. Het Heru means the house of God. Talking about this is you.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying? Okay. Come on now.
Oh, yes.
That's why I wanted her to call in and talk about that shit. Come on, talk about it.
Righteous Radio.
Don't talk much. I know a little bit of stuff. I just don't talk much.
That's good shit. I digs. Rivero said God is a war story. All of them. Dion says they have a documentary on Tubi called Shots in Eugenics. Watch it. COVID been here.
Oh, I know you like Tubi. Go ahead and watch it, Kev.
Man, you know I be on my Tubi. Tough, man. I rocks with Tubi.
Not the
man,
hood.
For real. That ain't no joke. I be on there watching the worst, best movies you've ever seen in your life.
I know you do.
Shout out to all the Detroit hood movies, man. Now those movies are good though. I don't care. I see some other ones that I'm like, but the Detroit hood movies are good. They're good. They're good movies. Let me see. She said God is a Gothic word. Okay.
I'm with her on that.
Just Googled it. Ye did endorse that damn fool. Oh Lord, he endorsed Herschel Walker. Okay, she said he knows things that we don't, right? Herschel Walker's the idiot.
Hey, I'm surprised Courtney ain't Googled that. Courtney usually be on that, huh?
Man, well, I'm on my phone. You know, I usually have my laptop right here. So
and she was just eating. She ain't Googling. She was grubbing like shit. I'm hungry.
Yeah, no, I usually got the laptop. I ain't got it right
here. Creators of all things, says Erica Veal. We are supreme. She's firing them off. Higher self. Y'all on some hotep tonight. Rivero Stennett says all gods are truly figments of the human imagination. They're fake. Wow. You said it's subjective, Kamar. You hit it right on the head. I mean, you have the right to believe what you want to believe.
Yeah. See, you got to remember that so you don't get into these arguments with people about God.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I'm here to tell everybody, I will never, ever, ever hide my faith and my Christian-based faith in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, which is what I was taught growing up. My grandmother, her belief, my grandparents, my father was a preacher, come from a long line of preachers. I believe in God. I do believe there's some truth in the Bible. I believe there's some absolute knowledge there, but I also believe that it's a book that's been tampered with over time by humans a whole lot. So I think there's some manipulation and some misquotes and stuff like that in there, but I believe in God, but it's subjective. So I believe in that. I believe in God being the all-knowing, all supreme being who created. And I think it's more of an energy. I've said this many times. I think God is an energy, a tremendous force of energy
Yeah,
as the
we
most powerful
agree on
force in the
that right
universe.
there. We agree, goddamn. We agree on that damn
I agree.
Okay, okay.
Hey, Rosalind. Hey.
energy.
Yeah, I don't think it's a person walking around with a, with a robe on. I am God. I
Right.
would just think if you ever were to be able to get to that level, you'd see would be just energy, a force that could communicate with you without even speaking. Because if this energy created all people, it speaks every language, so it'd have to dang near speak telepathically,
I'm
so
bad.
that everybody can understand it.
I tell y'all that
Say that again.
about my dream where I talked to God.
Oh Lord, no, you didn't tell us
Now,
that.
when I was a kid, when we was in the Baptist church, so I was young and I got to ask 3 questions, and it was dumbass questions. I can't remember them. So one was when I'm gonna die. Can't even remember when folks told me I'm gonna die. Damn shame. But I remember the dream. It was just bright. It was bright as fuck. It was bright, and I couldn't see who I was talking to because it was so bright. And there were no words. The shit was telepathic.
That's my belief, and I'm subjective. Okay,
So
so
I feel like it could just be an energy, energy like you feel that warm, like in the scary movies, to be that pulse. You know what I'm saying? They just know some nigga that shit pulsating. That's the end. Something like that. You're like, oh shit.
I've just been fortunate enough to see enough things in my life that I know were the result of otherworldly factors. Okay, some people call them miracles. Some people call them, blessings. Some people call them, prayers being answered. I've been fortunate enough to see some things that people would say that's a miracle, or how did that happen? That's not supposed to happen like that. And so I gotta say, there's something higher than us. There's something bigger than us as humans. I'm one of those weird people who believes when you look up in the sky at night, each star, if you say the sun is a star, each star is a sun. So there's galaxies around all those suns. I'm one of those people. I believe there's life in outer space, and they have their own thing that they believe in, however they exist. And I think the energy of God is what created this whole thing. So that's just me. Then Tony said your God self. That shit. He liked that. Your God self. Okay. Elevate, right? Elevate.
That's the goal. That's the goal we want to reach. You know what I mean?
Elevate to he said elevate to emancipate. He didn't say that. I just made that up. I thought that shit would sound slick, but never mind. Paris said religion means to bind. Erica Ville said, I'm not part of a belief
Yeah,
system.
well, when you go to the yeah, because it's a religier is the Latin word, and in Latin it means to hold, to bind. So the Latin word for religion means to bind, to hold down.
I can see how that could be applicable.
Niggas. That's exactly what it's done for years. But
I don't know about that. That's an interesting comment, because
I was at a art gallery. Me and my babe went to an art gallery, looking around. Dudes start asking, did we believe in God? Then the conversation went to we need to believe in what they believe in. We can't just believe in the universe. Or y'all must do yoga. But at the end of the conversation, I'm like, all right, if nobody told you about Jesus, no one told you about Jesus, what would you believe in? And a black lady came in and they both like, I don't know. I ain't sure what I believe in if nobody told me about Jesus. I'm like, well, would you believe in yourself? And they was like, believe in myself. That's crazy. I would never believe in myself. Crazy as hell. Just the fact that you niggas are believing some random shit and you won't even believe in yourself first.
Right. Believing in yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's like you got to believe in yourself, because you know what I mean. We talk about that God energy, right? That same God energy that's in you, it's in everybody else. It's in all the trees, it's on all the plants. This is the same energy that's making everything grow. It's making every follicle on your head grow at a certain time, at a certain length. You know what I mean? It's God energy. That's it right there. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. It has to be anything that's living, right?
And so when you praising yourself, you giving yourself props and stuff. This is really what you praising. You praising that God energy. You know what I mean? It should make you feel better about yourself. This should make you want to go harder for yourself. You know what I mean? It's that God energy that's in you that you actually ultimately working on. That God energy. that spirit that I spoke of earlier that consists of these 11 different faculties. You know what I'm saying? This is that God energy I'm talking about.
She said she's not part of a belief system because religion is dogma. Okay. He's a billionaire, Mostar. We're talking about Kanye. I don't know what we're talking about now. Ex-billionaire. Oh, yeah, Kanye. The coon. So he's a guy because he made slave-looking shoes and Walking Dead-looking clothes. Slave-looking shoes. Ma'at is what Paris LaShawn said. Erica Ville said she's Heru.
We
Heru.
are Haru. We all are Haru. Haru is the part of your spirit that governs whether you do right or wrong.
I'm a Bonds.
It made me want to throw my fingers up for some reason. Made me want to.
You know what I mean? Haru is the part of your spirit that decides whether you have high vibrations or low vibrations.
Well, we getting an earful tonight.
I want to do all that.
This is all under your control. You know what I'm saying? Your feelings, the way you feel when you get mad, you choose to get mad. You choose to do all this. This is Haru that's in you that governs that.
Vince Tony said, I'm waiting to see pastors, preachers, and bishops lay hands to heal COVID.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that too. We're going to keep waiting, Vince.
It's the new pastors, they don't do that too much. I don't know the last time I seen one lay hands. It's been, the last time I went to church was a while ago.
I was about to say, you probably ain't been in church in a long ass time.
Pastor Harvey barely goddamn be there, so he ain't laying hands on nobody. He be in Africa. He always
Lord. Over there laying hands.
Yeah, he ain't.
You know what? I wanted to see.
The preachers over there in Africa be laying their hands on women's asses and shit.
Look, they do.
Oh, the preachers in Africa do the fool.
Praise God, you're going to heaven.
Them churches in Africa, boy, they be going hard.
That the pastor slept with all of us because he said we had to get the demons out.
Yeah, he had to, all kinds of crazy stuff that they be doing over there. It's wow.
Yeah.
Erica Ville says, since I'm a woman, it makes me head Haru.
Head Haru is another part of your spirit. You are all of those.
Oh shit.
You are all of those. When you put all of them together, your spirit is called Amen. That's why they say Amen at the end of the prayer. You're giving yourself props. You're giving that God energy that's in you props.
Right, Kamar, that's exactly what Ma'at represents, says Paris. Vince said, Kamar, light that fire of truth, the light bringer. She said, man, Ace Cooley, damn, Kamar, you deep tonight. I think I'm going to use some of that at Luau tonight. Had these Hawaiian people spent. I love my Outlaw radio audience.
I am Haru.
Right. They going to fuck around, do that shit. They be doing that. They goddamn conga dance. Oh, that's Samoans. Never mind.
Yeah.
Rivero Stenton said there's a video. Michelle Jackson or Michelle told Kanye about the extreme. That is what Kanye is doing, the extreme. You said Michelle Jackson. Do you mean Michael? Tubi got the best documentary, says Dion. He said, hey, Courtney. Shouting you out, Courtney. Juice Lady in the building. I'm in the ATL. The campaign commercials are wild, Erica says.
Campaign commercials were like, because ours was kind of whack. You know what I'm saying?
Ours was off the hook.
I'm a down there go look him up. I wonder what his look like.
The code book by Nellie Fuller Jr. says never to argue or debate religion, one of the 9 areas of human activity, says Paris LaShawn. Erica says, so would it be man, y'all killing me now. Anunnaki,
but that was supposed to be either. Well, I don't know. It's something you got to
look at. She's just throwing stuff out there, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you got to look at
your. Call in and talk about it, Erica.
He said she just throwing stuff out there.
Call in and talk about it. We don't even know what you're talking about. Who would be the Anunnaki? Call in and talk about it. Talk about it.
Chucks with a woodchuck, chuck if a woodcut.
What did anybody say about the Anunnaki? Like, you know what I mean? Like, call in.
He said this is Dion, Courtney. Dion James.
Teach.
He said this is Dion.
I was gonna say, who is Dion? See, I was like, who?
He said, "This is." He said it like y'all. This is me. It's me,
Oh.
Courtney. Dion James.
You know me.
Said
Yeah,
Rivero
you know
Skinner
me.
said all them gods and their books have been written by some white man, unbelievable and unfactual from the beginning to end.
Oh, Rivera.
Erica Ville said Enik, Enil, Set, Satan, Krishna, Obatala. God damn.
All right.
So she's just throwing names out there, man. Call in and tell the people who these people are you talking about.
So many, or is it you? She says. The brain is in shackles and chains. Lord have mercy.
Boosie said the vest on my chest, but ain't no vest on my mind. Ooh, don't y'all have no vest on y'all mind? Listen to Boosie. Now. He gonna tell you too much.
At 12, my mother allowed me to stop attending church. I didn't understand who they worship compared to their God, to how they treated people. If you've taken a critical look at things over the years, it's very, very confusing as to the people who handed you this were the most egregious oppressors. And Cube said a long time ago, I remember he had a song, I think it's "Won't Call Me a Nigga When I Get to Heaven," when he said the devil made you a slave and he gave you a Bible. I always thought that was a deep quote. um Black folks need to leave them white folks gods alone, find real truth in life. Fake is fake. It's time to get real. Oh, I am a Kundalini goddess, says Erica Ville. Well, go ahead, goddess. Goddess energy in the building tonight. Thank you. I tell people that all the time, Courtney.
What part? We saying too many words. I'm lost.
I think he was talking about Boosie saying
How
no,
about
no,
Boosie? Vest on your chest.
yeah.
Yeah, vest on your chest ain't no vest on your mind. People need to know that. You know what I'm saying? Don't have no vest on your mind. Be out here thinking. Use your brain. Use some.
Oh man, this is fire. You wouldn't believe in God without fear in some white man's book. Leave them white folks alone. And see, that's where I would disagree with you, because I don't necessarily translate my relationship with God as fear. And I don't think you should. I don't think most people should. If we're talking about your creator or it's like your parent. Like, you shouldn't fear your parents. You respect them. You have boundaries. There's rules and there's things that you shouldn't do. But you shouldn't. If they've instilled fear in you, then they've made a mistake.
No, they
Because
fear death, Kev.
But
It's
don't
more.
they tell you that in church though?
People usually fear God because they're
Don't
scared.
they tell you that in church? You should fear God.
I don't know that they teach that you should fear him. I think they say maybe you should fear his wrath if you wrong him or some of his people. His wrath is vicious. I don't think the fear of him is what they try to teach you. Because when you talk about death, Courtney, you said death, but they teach you in church that death is the best thing ever. Like, but
But
that's
people,
when
they
you'll
don't
go into such a pleasant eternity. So it's not be scared of death. It's
That's
like,
if
no.
you haven't. You were always taught about hell. So a lot of people, I know a lot of old folks to be like, well, I'd rather believe than not believe. Because shit, they feel like if he is real, I'd rather believe in him and go to heaven than go to hell. Because
Yeah,
people,
he's saying you wouldn't believe in God without fear. I don't believe that. I don't agree with that. I'm not fearful. I'm respectful of God. I'm not
I do.
fearful.
I think some people may follow religion for the fear of hell.
Purgatory.
You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
For the fear of hell, maybe not the fear of God, but for the fear of going to hell.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's how they teach it. Do right, you go up. Do bad, you go down.
Right. So
Um,
they scare you. They scare you with They use hell. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and that ain't with everybody, but some people, yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like they really are in religion because they worried about going to hell
Sky God, she
when
said.
it's over.
Heru is God, she said. Heru is God, the sky God. Um, let me see. He said, "Oh, I see what this is. Talk bad about Africans, give props to some white man. Who said something bad about Africans?
And who said something about a white man?
Right. I don't Rivero, rock with me. Elaborate on that. I don't know. I don't know that anybody spoke down on Africans or big up white people. I don't know. I didn't
Or
hear
said
it.
anything about? I don't think we said anything about white people.
Are we talking about religion? If we're saying what you believe or I don't know. Can help me out with that, brother? Um, damn, Kamar preached that shit. Vince says. Erica said, Amen is the sun god.
That's what.
Amen
Well,
Ra is the most high.
I can elaborate on that, man. I was talking about your soul being, I mean, the totality of your soul. They used to call Amen, right? And then when you talk about the sun, they reference the sun. Okay, the sun is the sustainer of earth, sustains the earth. Your soul sustains your body. So when they looked at the sun, you know what I mean, they revered it as it was the soul. So they will call the sun Amen, Ra.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that comes from.
Anunnaki, more white man's
You
fear
have to
story.
understand, you got to understand the culture. You got to understand the culture, you know what I'm saying, when you start talking about these different entities or energies, I mean.
What's Anunnaki? He
Because
said
you
more
know what I
white man's
mean?
fear stories. I don't know what that is.
It's supposed to be some alien. Well, it's a story
Oh,
that
I think he talking to somebody, to Erica or something. He talking to Erica, man. He wasn't talking to us.
What did you say it was, Courtney?
it's supposed to be recreated by the Anunnaki. So that was like a some people say like a civilization of type of alien that created us, and some people
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much they were large beings, and that's who created us to be like worker,
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
worker race type shit.
I know what you're talking. I've seen that.
And
Because I watched that
see,
about
and
the ancient alien.
that's why I said Erica need to call in so she can elaborate on some of the shit that she throwing up here. You know what I mean? So everybody can be on the same page. So we all know what's happening, what she talking about. You know what I mean? Because I really feel like, my guy was talking to her.
That same things you got. No, I hope he lets me know who he was addressing. I don't know. It ain't no big deal. Earl said the same things you got to stop
Right.
believing in when you see pimps and hustlers become preachers. Fear as in reverence, says Vince Tony. Everybody want to be a God fearing, or do they want their partner to be? Want to be God fearing, or they want their partner to be? Leave them white folks alone. Fear is the lesson. The lesson is to defend war. He says, "Man, how can you burn if you're already dead?" Says Erica. Why would Satan punish you by not obeying God? Doesn't make sense. Why? She's saying, why would he punish you for not obeying God and he's supposedly against God? I think I asked that question of somebody like, if Satan is about evil and you've been evil and you've been dedicated to him, why would he then punish you in hell? Like, shouldn't he like have you living fat in hell? Like, I don't know. I asked that question. And I asked my wife, and she said she didn't know. She said we would have to look that up. So it's worth pursuing. Dude in red, rewind it. Dude in red, rewind it.
Well, I ain't gonna be able to rewind it, but you know what I mean. When I watch it back, I'm gonna have to stay mindful and figure out who you talking to. Just call in, brother. There go the number on the screen. Just call in. Let's talk about it. Whatever it is,
Yeah,
man.
Erica's going ham. I can't even keep up with her. She's
That's
going
what I'm
ham.
saying. There's so much going on here.
Right.
Sumerian gods. Like she just throwing names and words out.
She says she can't
Call
hear
in
us
to
when she
talk
calls
about it.
in. If you call in and turn your device down, you should be able to hear what we say. She says she can't hear us when she calls in. I don't know why. She said, look it up. I mean, everybody else can hear us when they call in. I don't know. Give it a try. 262-202-5131. Look, I had a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. But maybe none of it was as relevant as this, because I'm going to tell you why I think this conversation is important, because one of the things that we need in our community is restoration of our soul, a reinvention of some sort of moral code, some structure, if you will. And the one thing about people who get into religious or spiritual beliefs is that they benefit sometimes from having certain consistent rituals or structure, certain ways they go about themselves. Like, I know one of the things with the nation is to be extremely disciplined. And a lot of people lack discipline, but when you join the FOI, it gives you discipline so you can get other things done. You start to be able to do different things because you're opened up. So anytime people are united together saying, look, let's promote love over hate, peace over war, life over death, I think it's fabulous. I don't care who they praising or what they praising. If they're saying let's love each other collectively, let's help each other out when we need it, let's support each other, I think it's absolutely extraordinary, right? because God knows when we get a bunch of people together who make up their mind to do something dysfunctional or crazy, it's all bad, right? And that's what's happening in our community. So instead of people getting together, forming groups in which they encourage, love and peace and prosperity, we get together and say, let's be on some foul shit and go rob people, or let's go shoot them motherfuckers because they live on a different street than me, and none of us own any of this property. So Kamar stated it best when he said, religion or spirituality, and I might be misquoting you, Kamar, it's objective. It's subjective. Your personal beliefs, whatever you need to soothe your soul, is too subjective. And you could go into the many reasons why you believe what you believe. And they would still be your reasons. I don't know if it would have anything to do with the price of tea in China, but I want people to believe in something. I just feel like you need something to believe in as a human. You need something to strive for. Rivero Stinnett, he said, dude in red. Kamar, you got on red. I think he was talking about you.
I think we posted that already.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
They say the vaccine works because they take Viagra and it works. Okay. Earl. Was it Viagra in the shot? Right? I don't know. In the Black community, we have so much NAACP, Urban League, Young Professional Sororities, Fraternities, Nation of Islam. Yeah. What do we get out of that, man? We got a caller. Caller, is this?
Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. What's up?
You tell
It's
me.
Erica.
What's going on, Erica? Kamar wanted you to call in because he felt like you were just kind of throwing stuff out there.
Yeah,
Oh,
speak
okay.
your mind, sister. Speak your mind.
What do you want to
Speak
know
your
about
mind,
that?
because you was just.
She said, "What do you want to know about the gods?"
Well,
What,
you put a whole
Sumerian?
bunch of
I
different
did not
stuff.
see the Sumerian God.
Okay, the Sumerian gods is the Anunnaki.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I was just
They
saying.
created humans. They created humans to mine for gold to heal their planet. Because their planet was under corruption or something like that. So they created humans so that we can mine for gold because the earth has a lot of gold. So that's why they created humans. I'm not saying that we are the humans that they created, but they created humans to mine for gold. So all of these guys there are a lot of guys. Every what do you call it? Nationality or every different group of people have their own God. So when I'm naming off gods, these are gods of different people. Like Krishna is God of India.
Okay.
Abatala, that's the African god. Who else did I say? Amin Raj, the sun god.
Right. Okay. I get where you're going with it now.
Christians, they believe in this Jesus. And that was created by the Council of Nicaea, by Constantine, the Roman Emperor. That's who created Jesus. So,
or the story of Jesus. We don't know who the names and parables and fables. I don't know. You put me up on knowledge. I've heard about the council that you referred to. I just think we just got to leave people alone and let them believe what they want to believe. That's just me.
I know. I'm not a part of the belief system. I don't. At one point in time, I was Christian. I used to go to Holy Redeemer. I went to church every Sunday. Was a nurse in the church and everything. But I don't know. I say about 7, 8, 9 years ago, I kept having these problems with white people. So I started Googling the difference between white and black people. Okay. His name was the 13th Son. And I started watching all of his videos. Then I started branching off and watching all the videos on the right side of the screen. And that's how I ended up being the way that I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like, really realizing that all of that religion it's a belief system. Even as a kid, I remember, what is that man's name? James Small. was talking to my mother and my grandmother, and he was telling them that it's a belief system. I was a little kid, so I don't remember everything that they were talking about. But I remember hearing them ask, so what are you saying? It's not real? He said that I'm not saying that it's not real. I'm saying that it's based on a belief system. It's something that you believe in. So, anyway, that's how I became the way that I am. So I kind of like watch and read a lot of different things. You know, kind of like the occult stuff. You know, stuff that's hidden from the world, or that's not meant for everyone to know, or you just have to go searching for it. You know, so. But anyway, so when I was naming off those gods are gods, but they're gods for everyone. But now, but some people say that it's really one God, and they're all referring to the same one God. So I don't know. And I'm not an atheist. I do believe that there's a higher power, but that Christianity, I'm not that anymore.
Gotcha. Shout out to you for calling in and standing on your position.
Yeah, now it make more sense on why she was just throwing all them names up there like that.
It got kind of random.
Man,
I got kind of dizzy.
You gotta call in a lot of the time, man, and say what's on your mind a little bit, because we can't tell when you just popping stuff up on the screen like
that.
Right. You read all everything that I'm saying, then you have to go back and be like, what is he talking about? Yeah, I can understand that. I just asked you to tune in tonight. Then that y'all talk about the God, I like to talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we tend to talk about some everything all the time. So thank you for tuning in.
And the vaccinations, like now they don't even require you to get them, like for your job or whatever. Because I know that I haven't gotten the vaccine. All I tell people is that when they ask me, "Are you fully vaccinated?" I'll be like, "No, I got it." And they be like, "Oh, okay, that's no problem." That's
it. Yeah.
Nobody give you a hard time about it. Anything. They just say, "Oh, okay, that's no
I've
problem."
been immunized.
You Aaron Rodgers. I've been
immunized.
So yeah, you got it. You got the COVID vaccination?
He
said he's been immunized. I haven't been. I know I'm not vaccinated.
No, I ain't been vaccinated. I was immunized. I just worked on my immune system.
Yeah, I had it. My body beat it back. Thank God. Thank God. I say. I said thank God.
I did have it. I had it back in like 19. I want to say about 97 or 98. I had it.
I knew she was going to say that. I knew she was going to say something.
I'm looking at Rivero Stennett. He says, quit turning the books to deal with reality. Actually help people, not pray for people.
No doubt.
I don't think a little prayer hurts, Rivero. My grandmother prayed for me. I think she did a pretty stand-up job, and I think it helped me. Vince says, in the black community, we have so much. Oh, I already read that. My bad. Rivero said, put that white man's book down. You don't even know what you're reading. White folks tricked you. In many ways, they have tricked us. In many ways, they have misinformed us. As a matter of fact, since you said that, Rivero,
I would say that it's not to be taken literal, and our people take it literal. They take it literally like it's part of history, and it really happened. Yeah, it's not to be taken literally because it's not even really about actual characters and stuff like that. It could be about nature. It could be about astrology, just different stuff like that. Not just okay. I don't know. I've never really been a Bible person. I've read some parts of the Bible, but when they get to talking like thou and die and all of that, I just couldn't get off into it, you know. So I'm not a big
Rivero, I want you to know we have discussed on this show for a very long time about the untruths that have been taught to us. We've talked about the indoctrination process. We talked about being lied to about every single thing that we've ever been told. And we've talked about black people having a need to deprogram and reprogram. So I'm not that far away from you on the book thing and like totally leaning on books that you read. I think a lot of times you got to research the researcher. But I think on a spiritual level, I think you have to make your own decisions. I think you have to allow others to do so, because I don't think spirituality is a one size fits all thing. What may work for one individual may not work for the other. But I definitely believe that their control over the written word is been something that they've utilized and manipulated to keep the ball bouncing in their favor. So I agree with you on that. To say white folks tricked you is an understatement. Like that's like it's like they didn't just trick you. They just, they programmed you, right? So the Bible is a bunch of parables and allegories. Nothing in that book should be taken literal. Yeah, I don't, people who I've spoken to that are in the know religiously always tell me how they use this as a point of reference and try to get clarity out of some things that they may not understand, but nobody says this is the absolute, like, because there's Old Testament, there's New Testament. So sometimes people they'll quote things that are from the Old Testament, try to make them applicable to today, not understanding that, wait a minute, your own book says that there was a shift in the way, things were done, Old Testament versus New Testament. Listen, it's so many places you can go with this, y'all. It's so many places you can go. I am glad y'all chose to tune in with us tonight. We'll be back Wednesday night. We'll have more poignant conversation. Share the show, man. Hit like, hit share, hit follow. Once again, everybody's opinion is respected. He said, I think way differently than you. That's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Big ups to you, because you're welcome. You are welcome to believe what you want. That's me though. What we always say, Kamar, we don't try to tell people what to think. We just want them to think,
That's
right?
all.
So it's fine. You say you think differently from me. Maybe I could learn something from something that you know. Maybe I couldn't. Who knows? I don't know.
Should have called in and talk about it.
Man, that's what you got to do. You got to call in and represent. As long as you do it in the right way. I wouldn't expect you to call in and let me tell your dumb ass something and all that. Like, we don't support no unsolicited banging on no solitary outlaw. So that's not gonna happen.
Respect.
Right. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Not to mention 8 books were taken out of the Bible, says Paris LaShawn. Once again, I think I stated that I feel like things have been tampered with over the years. I think that we know that in order to kind of, one of the things that they utilized to keep us in slavery was to really give us the slave Bible. And I'm pretty sure that was written and manipulated for people, for slaves to be like, okay, to increase the pacifism. So yeah, that's fine, Rivero. I'm glad you are of sound mind. Kamar, what you got coming up, man?
What's today? Monday?
Yes,
Well,
sir.
I'll be at the Sherman Phoenix tomorrow, doing my thing, man, helping them get well, building immune systems and shit like that, detoxing people, doing my thing. I think that's about all I got planned for the week, but y'all still welcome to call. I do deliver. I will pull right on up. My pull-up game is so strong.
He says if I would have showed up, y'all would be talking about Jesus by now.
Jesus don't even exist in my book. Kevin don't feel the same. So chill out, bro. You could have just called.
Well, you know what? I like that.
Talking about y'all, you don't even know nobody. You just started watching the show, probably. You could have just called in.
I love it. I love it. I don't. You know what? We talk about so much shit on here. There's no telling what, because normally we stay socio-political, and sometimes we drift into, existentialism and spirituality and stuff like that. It's all for the sake of conversation. It doesn't bother me that you just watch the show.
So caught up. Some people get so caught up when they hear the word Jesus, they get emotional and shit. You know what I'm saying? And just start taking off with shit, man. I mean, nobody finna argue with you about no religion, man. Don't nobody care what you think about God, bro. Nobody cares. I don't.
But I
don't think nobody cares about what I think. That's just what it is. And ain't nobody mad.
We talk about the concept because people say, well, there's no J. To me, the concept of Jesus, I do believe that a Jesus type person existed, because I've seen different people. Like I look at a Tupac, and you say, well, how can somebody walk this earth and just be this fountain of knowledge, but this great contradiction, but affects so many people? I think people throughout history have existed like that. And so I think Jesus was one of those individuals. I don't know if his name was Jesus, but I do believe there was something to it. I think there's a basis to it. He said, why you mad?
I explained earlier how I feel like that God energy is in us all. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the Bible and Jesus and all that, I feel like we are Jesus. Like I said, that energy is in us all. You know what I mean? I don't think it was a man that walked this earth named Jesus. No. You know what I'm saying? We got to get a better understanding of this shit, man. It's all symbolism.
He said, why you mad? LOL. Like I said, the code says never debate or argue about religion. This is the reason why. Honestly, it is what it is. Like it's like anything else when it's opinion and it's personal. I'm just gonna say what I say and just let it sit there. I don't get
That's
mad
it.
or Kamar Vince Tony said, Kamar, I care. Where's the grave, tomb, body? I don't know. Y'all would be talking about Jesus by now, spreading lies. I don't see Rivero. I think one thing you doing is you are a little bit misinformed on what we do here on Outlaw
I
Radio.
think he trolling, man. Dude's a troll. I think he a troll. That's what I think,
Well,
man.
he
Because he
said we
really
can
ain't
talk.
listening. Because see, look, he really wasn't listening to the show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Obviously, he wasn't. He wasn't listening to the show. You know what I mean? Because see, Kev, he didn't get where I was coming from. He don't get where you was coming from. He didn't get where nobody was coming from. He just spewing out different stuff that he believe and think or whatever, but that's cool too. I'm just saying, brother, you could have called and talked. I mean, that's what intellectual black men do. Black men talk, and we talked about that too. You know what I mean? We know how to talk to each other, right?
Right. I don't.
You know what I'm
The
saying? That's what
majority of the
people do.
conversation. The majority of the conversation wasn't about Jesus, though. It was about
Right.
everything but.
And even if it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. So what if we talking about Jesus? God damn.
Listen. I want to thank y'all, man. Rivero, get with us.
None of this shit's a big deal, man. None of this
No,
shit's a
no, no,
big
man.
deal.
Just a bunch of brothers pontificating, as I call it. But to close out, I want you to understand, and I want to just reference the Jerry Jones thing because that's kind of how it started. Um, Jerry Jones is a rich white man, and we know that historically a lot of fortunes have been built on the backs of black people. And obviously he has a very powerful empire, very, very large empire. And I think he's acquired a certain amount of wealth from his usage of black men. Now, a lot of black men have made $1 million messing with Jerry Jones. They have. A lot of them have had their souls and bodies broken as a result of his team in his league as well. So it's important to remember that. My point is simply about the double standard. People are quick to jump on a black man's back for how he feels in terms of, the way of the world. And white men are allowed to do things and get away with it for a very long time. And then they make excuses about it. Once again, as a person of color, a foundational black American, I would tell you, don't be alarmed that there are old racist white people. Don't be alarmed that there are young racist white people. Don't be alarmed by racist people, period. Okay? I think that we need to, in order to overcome this thing, we need to be aware of it. And so to be able to say, you know what, you don't like black people, that's fine. Because
I
there's a lot of
know.
black people who don't like you. Right. And so if somebody says that, then my thing is that's never going to go away until you start to infringe upon my rights as a human. Then I don't have a problem. You could say you don't like me because I could tell you right back, I don't like you. But when it becomes a situation where you can kill me, but I can't kill you, you can oppress me, but I can't oppress you. When a double standard is employed, that's where the problem begins. And that's where the conversation should begin. And that's where the course of action should be established, right? It should be about, okay, now we see how they're playing. And it ain't just because they don't like us. It's about them trying to infringe upon us. That's very important to know. And I want black people to know we get nowhere arguing about the argument. I think we all should be able to just say, hey, it is what it is. Let's talk about the issue at hand, as opposed to arguing about who worships who and who believes in what. Anytime you get into somebody's personal beliefs, you're going deep into the rabbit hole. So check us out Wednesday, man. Rock with Outlaw Radio. Shout out to the boy Real. I hope he's feeling better. You know, that's our partner. And I know Real would have really enjoyed this conversation because we know Real to be very, very knowledgeable in these kinds of things. So share the show, hit the Cash App, man. Shout out to Vince Tony, support Vince Tony for First District Alderman. Get with Kamar. It's cold sniffle season. Get with Kamar, get them supplements in you, man. Do better, man. Peace and love, man. Kamar, peace and love. I'll talk to you Wednesday, my brother.
Peace, family.